Another award-winning, thought-provoking, action-packed edition of the Tony Basilio Show is coming up next. Tips are always appreciated here at TonyBasilio.com, home of the Tony Basilio Show. You found the Tony Basilio stream at TonyBasilio.com or on your smartphone or tablet. Another thrilling, chilling, and sometimes spilling edition of the Basilio Show is on the way next. Tips are always appreciated here at TonyBasilio.com.
Listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville, and W289CU Knoxville, Fan Run Radio.
T to the B, firing you up, focusing you, and preparing you. Last night we had a Garza Law Tennessee basketball overtime for the ages, and I walk upstairs and, Brian, I knew I was in trouble. And by the way, it's a John Adams Thursday. Presented by Jennifer Morris, next move, SmokyMountains.com. I walk upstairs, and lovely Laura says to me, Vols win last night? Or win tonight? And I said, yeah. I said, why do you ask? She said, well, I never would have known that listening to your show. I never would have known that. Listening to my show, listening to your show.
Well, thank God for some Mike White magic. You've got black magic, and we got some white magic in our favor at the end.
And so, Matt, I walk upstairs, and Laura says, "Did the Vols win or lose last night?" I never would have known it. I never would have known that they won by the tone of your post game. She said, what's wrong with you guys? And you know what? I got to confess. She's right. But you know what else? There is a time to laugh at absurdity in sports, right? Like, so, and I'm kind of conflicted today as I think about our post game, our Garza Law Tennessee basketball overtime last night. I sit here kind of conflicted because we keep it real, and I rip myself when time comes. Not afraid to rip myself here, and do a little self-inflection. What do they call that? Self-reflection, John? Not self-inflection. It's John
Introspection.
Introspection. Thank you. She said, this team goes on the road, they get a road win, and you guys sit there and are going for style points and making fun of how sloppy the game was, and you guys are making fun of the team and making fun of these kids that are working hard and trying, and you guys were talking about how low IQ everything was. She said, I think your show was pretty low IQ tonight. Uh-huh. You've been around Laura a little bit. She kind of keeps it real. It's kind of fun. You kind of need, your wife's like that. You kind of need somebody that'll sort of look you in the eye and go, hey, Tone, that wasn't good. That wasn't good. Like Muletown saying, she's right. She's right.
It's kind of like if you're one of the 50 voters on the NFL Pro Football Hall of Fame.
Can you imagine that?
And so if you come up with a reason why Bill Belichick should be a first ballot Hall of Famer, then you need to talk to several people whose opinion you trust and say, what do you think of this? And they'll say, well, that's totally idiotic.
Right.
And then I was reading some of the excuses as to why. It was possible reasons like Deflategate. Yeah. Every coach in the NFL's tried to do that before. Spygate, are you kidding me? And then one was, well, he had Tom Brady all those years. Well, Bill Walsh had Joe Montana. Chuck Noll had 13 Hall of Famers. You don't win Super Bowls with bad players.
Hello.
Yeah. So I didn't get a chance to listen to your show last night.
Oh, we were awful.
But I thought that was a huge win for Tennessee.
Our show last night, I got to say, was kind of embarrassing. Now, in the moment, all four of us were kind of watching along there at the end, and we were laughing at the mistakes kind of each team was making. And Tennessee does have this thing where they've got some pretty low IQ stuff that they do. They really do.
Well, they're not the only ones.
Oh, that Georgia team.
Are you kidding?
Georgia shot Mike. Matt was laughing so loud. If you go back and listen to the tape, Matt is giggling when Georgia takes a 2 that we give to them with 0.6 seconds left. It was a comedy of dark comedy of errors last night, John.
Yeah, I mean, how can – see, that's one reason why I would never want to be a coach. Because I couldn't look at a player again after he did that. And you look at some – now, the game should have ended in regulation when what's his name?
Gillespie.
No. Surreal.
Yeah.
Crashes into Akpara.
So you think that should have been called?
Oh, my gosh, yes. That should have been a game ender. He just plowed into him from behind. Knocked him flat. How could that not be a foul?
Yeah. I think what happened last night, Matt, if I can speak for me, I think we were lumping us in with Georgia because Georgia's thing was so egregiously stupid last night that what we were really doing in retrospect was really laughing at Georgia and laughing with our program. At least I think that's what I was doing, Matt. I don't know if that came across, but TGMD Laura kind of scolded me when I went upstairs. She said, "No, let me get this right." If she got done uploading the show, we were done. It's like, I don't know, 11:45. She looks at me and she says, "Now, did Vols win tonight?" I said, "Yeah." She said, "Would it be nice to celebrate a win? I mean, people are cold and people have been snowed in and people are iced in the mid-state and they want something to feel good about. And they turn your post-game show on and you guys are on there behaving like damn." Basically, she said, "You're on there behaving like a damn fool."
I could see that.
Matt, you think that's what it is, that we got kind of pulled in? Georgia pulled us into their undertow last night?
Yeah, somewhat. Just kind of the herky-jerky, just a weird deal with how Georgia plays, and then Tennessee just not being able to close games out in a way that you would like for them to, that we've expected recently. We just don't make a lot of winning plays in winning times, or as many as we have recently. But it was a little critical,
hypercritical
overall, but there were some positives. There a lot of positive calls. There were callers that were a lot more negative than we were, and some callers, have the most talented team Barnes has had, and compared them to Tom Izzo and Carmelo Anthony title teams. So
Our last caller,
it all kind of balances out. But please tell Laura that we really appreciate her staying up late to listen to us. We do that for all listeners. That's really good on her, since she didn't watch the games, but she did listen to the post game. That's impressive.
Our last caller, they went to and fro. This team's terrible, and they're going to be lucky to make the tournament. To our last caller said, "Do you remember Carmelo Anthony and how he took the team and put them on. He goes, you watch Gillespie, you watch Nate, man. That's what March is going to look like. And I went, hey, I hope you're right. I'm with you, not against you. But here's the truth. When you think about life, you can only live one day at a time. And when you think about these seasons, you can only watch and react to the game in front of you with the perspective of the season you've seen so far. Now, one thing we've learned around here is teams are allowed to get better. Players are allowed to get better. And then sometimes players dip. Sometimes what you think a guy is, like Joey Aguilar last year, sometimes kind of what you think a guy is, they sort of dip and they revert back to sort of their reputation. So, but it's wild, watching it all transpire. The thing is, though, when you win games, Tony Basilio, and I'm talking to me here, you got to remember that the person on the other end of the line listening to it tunes in that post game to hear you feel good about their team winning. And I don't, Laura played the first 25 minutes back for me. She said, listen to this. And I looked at her and I said, you're right. You're right. We failed. We failed in that end. I failed.
Tony, I probably watched more SEC basketball this season than any season I have in a long time. I think it's been very entertaining basketball. But watching all these different teams from game to game,
yeah,
it's all very uneven. And I see what you would call stupid stuff. That's just part of the game. Yeah. That's how it's played. It's more up-tempo now. Everybody's playing more up-tempo. A lot of these teams are three-point oriented, and they just jack up shots with no consideration for situation and time.
Yep.
And that's kind of jarring to me. So for Tennessee to win back-to-back games against teams that have been nationally ranked this year on the road is, to me, outstanding. I think this team's getting ready to go on a long winning streak. I think that Alabama game started and the schedule eases up a bit.
Yeah.
From here on out, there are no more nationally ranked teams. You got to have to play. I mean, Auburn's a tough team. It's not nationally ranked, but that's at home. And you got Kentucky on the road. Won't be easy. But I'm just saying there's not any obvious games where, no way they can win that. I mean, you could have said that about the Florida game earlier in the year, but there's no game like that. So, yeah, I think Tennessee's going to be in good shape. And when you talk about you talk about Carmelo Anthony, we've seen that in a lot of NCAA tournaments where an individual star carries a team through the tournament. Florida has a great front line, had a great front line last year, but that tournament was about Walter Clayton carrying them through the tournament and making shots every time a shot was needed. And we've seen that time and time again in the NCAA tournament. But what I like about this Tennessee team is now you have two guys who can create shots. You don't have to have a lot going on. Gillespie and Ament can create shots. They can score even when they're closely guarded. And I think that's what you need in the NCAA tournament. Everybody ratchets up their defense in the NCAA tournament. Everybody's playing better defense because they're all revved up. They're fired up. Everything's on the line. And so you encounter better defenses maybe than you would get during the regular season in a lot of cases. So you need guys that can make tough shots. Those guys can make tough shots. Tennessee hasn't had that a lot when you look at some of its past tournament runs. So I think that's something where fans can be optimistic about. I mean, they're not a perfect team, got weaknesses just like everybody else.
The whole game's a mess. By the way, Brian Matthews is going to join. We're going to preview Auburn. Stephen F. and Pearl, ladies and gentlemen, comes back. We really ought to do something special for him. Do they show his highlight? I mean, a highlight video of him. Do they show his We continue with more. We need to do something. Does Jackie sing the anthem? It's all ahead. When it's time for your next move, you want to get your precious belongings from point A to point B with your peace of mind intact. That's why you need to call my friends at Gufon Moving and Storage, East Tennessee's moving legend. Gufon Moving and Storage has been helping East Tennesseans move since 1887. That's 138 years, 5 generations. That's even longer than the Dooley, Jones, and Pruitt era combined. Gufon Moving and Storage are pro movers, serving Knoxville, surrounding areas, and interstate moves too, both residential and commercial. And we'll provide you with personalized service that other corporate movers simply cannot. We know how to move all types of items. We pay careful attention to our clients' valuables. Your satisfaction as a customer is our absolute priority. As the oldest continually owned and operated family moving business in the United States, when it's time for your next move, it's Gufon Moving and Storage. And storage, it's secure and vaulted. Our newest offering of commercial storage logistics, we offer receiving, storage, and delivery services for all your business logistic needs. See more at Gufon.com. That's Gufon.com. Or check out the link at tclub.team. When it's time for your next move, East Tennessee's moving legend, Gufon Moving and Storage. Life never stops moving. And between the 30-minute commutes, daycare pickups, weekly soccer practice, Tuesday night yoga, X number of coffee runs, and that weekend trip to grandma's, you're racking up the miles. What you need is a tire that can keep up. A tire designed for doers. A tire that's going to last. Like the exceptionally long-lasting Michelin Defender tire. With an 80,000-mile warranty and the safety and comfort you expect, you can forget all about the miles ahead and focus on getting to your destination or conquering your to-do list. Fleet Tire, I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. That's Fleet Tire, I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. Fleet Tire.
Inward Half is committed to the game and the memorable moments that happen in between. From the tee box to the tailgate, from the green to the big game. For the first birdie with Dad, the first big win with Mom. Friday night lights, Saturday superstitions, Sunday traditions. Fall into the comfort and unparalleled performance of Inward Half. This fall, enjoy the walk-in.
Are you tired of hiding your smile because of crooked teeth? At Knoxville Smiles, we've got the perfect solution. Invisalign. No metal, no wires, just clear, comfortable aligners that straighten your teeth without anyone noticing. Eat what you want, smile with confidence, and see results in as little as 6 months. Call us today for more information about Invisalign, 865-539-1776, or just visit us online at knoxvillesmiles.com. Smile brighter with Knoxville Smiles.
Out-of-town law firms have been swarming into East Tennessee lately. From Memphis, Chattanooga, and Birmingham, they've stormed into the area. Wouldn't you rather do business with a local firm? You know, a true neighbor. Marcos Garza and the pros at the Garza Law Firm are just that. There are neighbors and friends that support local causes year-round. The Garza Law Firm works to serve you professionally on criminal matters, injuries and accident matters, and Social Security and disability filings. The Garza Law Firm is here for you at garzalaw.com. The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Cold weather is here. Is your heating system ready and running efficiently? Don't wait to find out. A simple tune-up now can help prevent costly breakdowns when you need your heat the most. Right now, PipeWrench is offering a $79 heating system tune-up to keep your home warm, safe, and worry-free all winter long. Our certified technicians inspect, clean, and fine-tune every part of your heating system for maximum efficiency and comfort, helping you avoid surprise breakdowns and high energy bills. And with PipeWrench Home Service's same-day service guarantee, you won't be left out in the cold waiting for help. Your comfort isn't just our job, it's our promise. Schedule your $79 heating system tune-up today at PipeWrench.com before winter decides to test your heater. PipeWrench Home Services, trusted in Knoxville, Maryville, Oak Ridge, and neighboring communities for over 20 years. And as always, same-day service guaranteed or the visit is free. For standard systems only, visit PipeWrench.com for details.
TB here with Alan of WeShipFloors.com. Tell them about it, Alan.
Hey, I'm Alan from WeShipFloors.com. Our competition's prices, well, they're going up. Ours are coming down. Our waterproof floor Supercore is the best, and right now it starts at $199 a square foot. Our warehouses are full of 4mm, 6mm, and 8mm. You strapped for cash? Well, we have our own in-house financing. Use our room visualizer and order some free samples today. Supercore from WeShipFloors.com. Best products at best price.
Like Alan said, head over to WeShipFloors.com. Use the room visualizer on the website. Drop in any of the 120 Supercore floors virtually into your room and order your free samples today. WeShipFloors.com. Tennesseans, they are us. The best product, the best price. WeShipFloors.com. Living Vol fan, when it's time to get ready for 2026 and what's ahead, there's only one place. It's Alumni Hall, the best and largest selection of Tennessee apparel for the whole family. Top brands, Nike, Champion, Columbia, Peter Millar. And check this out. All the basketball stuff that the Tennessee basketball fan could ever need. Some great Tennessee baseball stuff as well. Any season, any reason. Alumni Hall, 3 locations in Knoxville. Also Murfreesboro, Bristol, and now open, of course, in Johnson City. And anytime online, alumnihall.com. Say it loud, say it proud. The ultimate volunteer shopping experience. Alumni Hall. Score a TD every time with T3 Vodka. T3 is Tennessee's premium vodka, handcrafted with passion, precision, and a whole lot of pride. T3 Vodka is taking the volunteer state by storm. T3 Vodka, handcrafted in the majesty of the foothills of the Great Smoky Mountains, where quality isn't just a promise, it's a way of life. Filtered 10 times and 80 proof. T3 Vodka delivers a smoothness that's unmatched. This dedication to excellence has already earned T3 Vodka prestigious accolades. T3 is a 5-time gold medal winning vodka and the 2025 SIPS Consumer Choice Award medal winner. Whether you're sipping it neat or on the rocks or mixing up your favorite cocktail, T3 Vodka is your choice for a premium, award-winning experience. Score a T3 TD and ask for T3 Vodka by name at restaurants and wine and liquor stores today. Drink it neat, drink it right, drink T3 Vodka and score a touchdown every time. T3, Tennessee's premium vodka. Please drink responsibly. T to the B back with you, 865-200-5402. John Adams is in the mix and in the hunt today, presented by Jennifer Morris. Next move, SmokyMountains.com. We are doing a, shall we say, ladies and gentlemen, a little hardwood report presented by our friends. WeShipFloors.com. Look, all you got to do is reach out to them, go to the website, ask for some samples. You do that, and Alan ships you some free samples, and you give them a shot, and you're going to love it faux show. And, Alan, we're getting ready to call you here at the Casa Basilio because we've got a need here, Alan. So there you go. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, he's Brian Matthews. He loves his hoops. He has been on with us before. I love him. He's over it on 3. He gets it done. And we were talking off the air. Hey, this Auburn team's playing some really good, solid basketball right now. 4 credible wins in a row, including a hard-fought win over Texas last night. And we know in this league there are no off weeks, or off games, or whatever I'm trying to say. But Brian Matthews, I think Saturday has a chance to be a little bit of a spectacle, my friend, as I welcome you in. How you doing, buddy?
Well, I think you're talking about 2 of the better teams in the SEC. Definitely 2 teams that are playing much better, since the calendar turned to 2026. And it should be another war. I've just watched Auburn and Tennessee go head-to-head with, over the last 10 or so years, 12 years, and it's just always a war when those teams go at it defensively. Both coaches are very defensive-minded, and they just love to play physical basketball. So sometimes you end up with those 52 to 46 type slot fest, whether it's at Thompson Bowling over here at Neville.
Every coach, when they come in, want to put their stamp on something, okay? How is Stephen Pearl's club different than what his dad did? What are Stephen, and as we call him, when he lays his stamp down, it says Stephen Effin Pearl. What are Stephen Effin Pearl's, what's anything different about what he's doing than Bruce?
Well, I think his first team is just finally finding its identity. The one thing that Bruce did and that Steven's also doing is, I guess this is really Bruce's schedule, right? It was mostly put together before, but playing one of the toughest schedules in the country and really testing the team in that way. Sorry, I'm getting my oil change.
No, I love it. You're getting your oil change, and we got Nat
right
sound.
near Rose.
No, I love
we're
it,
getting,
man.
We're getting a lot of traffic noise out here.
I love it, bro, because that's somebody going on a fast break. We're going coast to coast out there.
There you go. But and the other thing that's similar to Bruce is they really push defense. Of course, Steven was his quote unquote defensive coordinator when he was assistant under Bruce.
Yes.
So that's a big part of this team. But I think the identity they found is just they have to play with a ton of energy and effort and physicality to really be in these games with these good opponents. Right? They started out in preseason playing pretty good, but every time they went up against the top 10, top 5 team, and they played a bunch of them, they come up short, and they got blown out a couple of times too. They did get a nice win over St. John's and NC State, but most of those tougher teams Auburn played early on ended up in the loss column. But this team has slowly come around to, hey, we don't have a great rim protector, we don't have a ton of great three-point shooters. We've got Keyshawn Hall, who's a great individual player, but we don't have a Janai Broom or a bunch of other guys around him who are really lighting it up offensively, at least consistently. And but they have found that's a loud truck. They have found a way to overcome that and just play with a ton of effort.
Janai Broom of my Wilmington, Delaware Bluecoats right now. John Adams, without further ado, we're visiting here as we're breaking it down scientifically, and blessed by Brian Matthews, who covers Auburn with the On3 folks. John Adams, jump in with us here.
Yeah, when I first heard the news that Bruce was retiring, I mean, it was obviously a setup. I mean, the timing and everything about it. He handed it off to his son, which to me was a great way to get a job in one perspective, but in another, it puts a lot of pressure on you. Because I think a lot of people look at Stephen Pearl and say, well, the only reason he got the job is because his dad basically it just handed it off to him. He didn't earn it. He hadn't coached anywhere. So that does put pressure on him. How do you think the Auburn fan base, view that move, and how do they feel about it now? Because that fan base became one of the best fan bases in college basketball under Bruce.
Yeah, I think there was a little skepticism at first, but I think there's such a love of Bruce Pearl down here because he completely transformed Auburn's basketball program. The 10 years before he got here, it was the worst program in the SEC. You can add it up. It was dead last. And he came in, of course, changed the direction completely of this program and brought it to 2 Final Fours, which Auburn had never done before. So, I think with that in mind, people understood, how everything went down. And I think they were, at the very least, in favor of it or looking forward to seeing what Stephen can do. But also, as most college football and basketball fans are, also a little skeptical and also ready to, go on a message board and as soon as they get a tough loss, say some mean things about it. But I think overall, pretty excited about keeping Stephen here and about what he could do. And I thought that Stephen was going to be a good head coach because I just thought he had the right mentality for it. And, even though it's still early along, I think it's showing with what Auburn's becoming this season that he's done a really good job coaching this team, him and his whole staff, really. Because I think they're overachieving based on, what they sort of have and the production maybe they're getting from Tahai Pettiford, who was supposed to be, a first-team All-SEC type player.
Yep.
It is not really that player, at least so far.
It's interesting, right? Because we were talking last night. We were watching Tennessee, and we do a post-game show here, and we're on we were on like 90 minutes, a couple hours after last night's game, which is, an indictment of me and my life and what it's become. But at any rate, this basketball we see in the league with all these newcomers, it's so uneven and it's so herky-jerky. And people like us that kind of love the sport and are used to watching it for a long time, the game is so different now because in the last 5 minutes of these games, we just see these teams do crazy things. Like both Tennessee and Georgia last night were doing crazy things, and I know Auburn's had their trouble at the end of games. And then you think about it, how could it not be anything but looking like pickup basketball at some time? I mean, if you can, elaborate on the turnover on that roster year over year and how this kid was handed literally a pickup basketball roster. That's what they have.
Yeah, I mean, you look at Auburn the previous 2 years, they basically turned their whole team from, 24 to 25. And then this year, they've had to bring in 10 newcomers. And the only returning player was Ty Pettiford, who was a freshman on last year's team, sort of the sixth man, and was, hoping to step up and be a full-time point guard and be a leader of the team. All that. He is that player, right? He's averaging, I don't know, well, the last couple of games he's played around 38 minutes. So he is that guy, but he's not really, producing at the level you thought he would his second year in the SEC based on what he did as a freshman. So it just hasn't clicked for him yet. But, you got Keyshawn Hall from UCF. He's a really, really good player. He's one of the SEC's top scoring players. He had, I think it was 22 or 24 points in the first half last night. So he is capable of taking over a game. And, of course, the second half, he was double-teamed a good bit there by Texas, but he still managed to have an impact there. And, they brought in Elijah Freeman, who was a D2 player. They brought in Keyshawn Murphy from Mississippi State, who's battled injuries, but when he's healthy, he's really, really good. Athletic five, not a shot-blocking five, but a guy who can score and move around and rebound pretty good. But this is a team where they've just had to bring in all these different players from different levels of basketball and different programs and try to build a team around them, and that has taken some time.
To the uninitiated, when you hear him talk about Elijah Freeman, you've heard that name because he was the kid that was really, really, really good for Lincoln Memorial for the Rail Splitters. And the Vols kind of thought they had him in their pocket there for a while, and then he went out in the open market and found greener pastures and got himself paid at Auburn. Hey, Matt Dixon, jump in here. We've got Brian Matthews talking about what it could be a spectacle Saturday night. Stephen Pearl returning to Knoxville.
That's right.
Matt Dixon.
Yeah, just curious, like when Auburn's playing well, like are there common things that they're doing in these games, and then vice versa when they're having those rough stretches or playing those top teams like earlier in the year? Are there common themes that have shown up as, I guess, the strengths and weaknesses of this team?
It is. It absolutely is. When they're playing well, they are playing great defensively, and they're able to out rebound teams that are bigger than them. I mean, they took it to Florida on the boards, especially in the first half. I think Florida ended up +3 or +4 in that game. But still, when you look at the size difference, that's really a good job by Auburn. So if Auburn is playing well, they're forcing turnovers, they're forcing one shot, and then they're getting out there and, getting some transition buckets. They're also best when they are driving to the lane and trying to finish or follow up on, offensive rebounds and putbacks. They've got some really good players that can do that. I mentioned Keyshawn Murphy, Filip Jovic, who was a kid they brought in from Bosnia, has he's gone from a guy who, when you first saw him, you're like, is this guy really going to be ready to play in the SEC this year? He may need a year, to a guy who I think it was a game or two ago had 23 points. So he's improved in a big way down there. He's a substitute there. He's about a 6'7", 6'8" forward type, just a banger inside. You'll certainly notice him when you see him. He's one of those guys that isn't large, but somehow finds a way to pump fake, a few times and, turn and twist and do all these things and finds a way to finish at the rim pretty good over taller dudes. But yeah, when this team is playing well, they're playing great defensively with a ton of effort and intensity and just getting after it physically.
Which is kind of a mirror of Stephen F. and Pearl when he played. He's what they call a white player. And so back in his day, they used to say he's a glue guy on television. They always say that about, but that's who he was. He was a kind of a jump on the floor, dive on the floor for loose balls.
Yep.
Sort of a tough guy kind of deal.
He looked kind of like a linebacker out there.
He sure did.
sometimes.
Yeah, no, he did. And by the way, Elijah Freeman, a couple folks on our YouTube were wondering, he's averaging 9.8 points per game, right around 5 boards per game, right around 2 assists per game, and he's shooting the 3 ball at a 32% clip, which I'll tell you what, he would look really nice in a Tennessee basketball uniform right now. He's had a pretty nice year, hasn't he? Yeah.
I'll tell you a story about Elijah.
Yeah.
He began the season as a starter because he is one of Auburn's 5 best players. But he came to Stephen about midway through back in December and said, "Hey, I think it'd be better for the team if I came off the bench." And they stuck Sebastian Williams-Adam in there as a starter. He's a really good freshman. But it's helped out Auburn immensely because you've got when you got the starters, you got Keyshawn Hall who's going to gobble up a lot of the the ball and the scoring and such. Kevin Overton could do the same. The Texas Tech transfer, who's a shooting guard there, Tahad, of course. But then when he comes in, he can become more of a focus of the offense. And if you watch him, you can tell that he is the most athletically talented player, usually on the floor, but certainly for Auburn. And I still feel like he's just scratching the surface. Like he's going to take a big step forward at some point this season, at least a medium step forward this season, and eventually in his career where he can be like one of those players that can completely take over a game. I just think he has that type of potential.
Brian, I was wondering about Auburn basketball long term. Bruce completely revamped that program. It turned into something it hadn't been before. Is Auburn set up financially? Can it go into a transfer portal and compete with the big boys for big name players in the transfer portal? And what do you think the interest in the team is after Bruce Pearl? Do you still have the same intense fan base that you did with Bruce? Did that carry over? But mainly about how's it set up NIL-wise to get good basketball players?
Yeah, so as far as the interest in Auburn and the fan base, I think it was the 80th or so. 80th consecutive sellout last night, and it was very loud and very intense. And I think the players and Stephen Pearl came afterwards and said that, the fans there made a difference in that game and allowed Auburn to come back from that. I think it was a 14-point deficit there. So that's definitely still there. It's definitely still there. Auburn people who, let's be honest, even during the Charles Barkley, Chuck Person, that era, and then the nice run they had there at the end of the 90s, never really fell in love with Auburn basketball until Bruce Pearl. But that has changed, and that is definitely still continuing into the Stephen Pearl era.
Yes.
As far as NIL go, this kind of changes, from year to year because, there's so much uncertainty, in that area. But I would say that Auburn is competitive. I do not think Auburn is one of the top, 5 or probably 10 schools, NIL-wise. But I still think that makes them competitive, really in basketball. But, I think they're still able to go out there and compete and get good players. I just think it's important for Auburn basketball to make really good decisions and really good evaluations, right? They can't just go out there and sign, the two of the top 5 players in the country in high school are the portal. They don't have the resources to really afford that. So they're going to have to go out there and make really good decisions.
Brian Matthews, you've been a gentleman and a scholar. And, I had a thought when John said what he said, which is, now don't get me wrong, your background noise. There's a lady in North Carolina listening who is wondering if maybe you're in a jacuzzi right now. I don't
I wish.
She's painting her own word picture over here, but that got to me thinking about Stephen Pearl, Bruce Pearl. The Vols in baseball are getting ready to lose their cult of personality in Tony Vitello, and I wonder what the crowds look like as that tenure goes along, because those guys are so magnanimous with the personality and the get in here and we need you here. And look,
Yeah.
Bruce Pearl did miraculous things here. When he got here, we had an orange, ugly, looked like a airplane hangar with orange seats in there. They literally, the guy before he got here, they used to drop the curtains. John, am I lying that they would drop the curtains from the upper deck and wall the thing off? Am I lying about that?
Oh, yeah.
That is not a joke. I'm not joking here.
Well, all the fans are familiar with curtains and inside Coliseum. So
Okay.
Going back to Beer Days days, for sure.
There you go. So
Yep.
just what these guys did at these two stops with the sheer will of their personality and being, I don't know if they want to see the word politician. I don't know what that word is, but the Pied Piper for these universities, it's remarkable. Both guys.
Well, I thought somebody else should have come after Bruce Pearl. And he did a great job at Auburn and turned Auburn into a good job.
Yes.
But if you had can you imagine Bruce Pearl at Kentucky or Indiana? Indiana, to me, I thought, why in the world wouldn't Indiana hire him?
Because they think they're too good, John.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Really?
And maybe Kentucky would think the same thing.
Yeah.
But you put a guy like that, particularly in Rupp Arena, you give him a 23,000-seat arena to work with.
Brian, could you imagine that after watching him up close? Because we saw him here. I mean, could you imagine him if Kentucky had the foresight to take a chance on him?
Yeah. Kentucky doesn't need any more help, so I really don't want to imagine it.
That is true. I mean, they've got so much money. It's kind of fun to watch them spend twice as much as everybody in the league and kind of flounder around. This is sort of amusing a little bit. But
I hate it for them, and I hated that game against Alabama y'all had. I guess it was several days ago where they, brought in the NBA player and still didn't win. That was a shame. Also, I know everybody in Auburn was disappointed with that result.
That Bediako thing is a real mockery. Can I ask you something? What is the commissioner of this league doing right now? Because I don't.
Nothing. What he usually does, absolutely nothing. Nothing at all. Yes, that's what he does.
Because
he's probably reading some books that he can tell us about come June.
Because literally, to your point, he misled these people about the 12-game to 16-team playoff. He let Bediako, who's a professional player, play in a college basketball game. Just sat there and we're just going to kind of let it happen. we're not gonna file any injunction. We're not going to do anything. We're not going to block it. We're not. Does this guy do anything, Brian?
I've been really critical of him. I will continue to be very critical of him. He's a reactionary guy. He's not a leader. He's not a visionary. He just goes with the wind, in my opinion. I hate it, but I'm just trying to call it what it is. That's what I see. He had all these plans for the SEC and the 16-team playoff. He goes to Destin this summer, and some coaches get mad at him and say mean things, and then he changes completely. And now we're stuck in whatever we're stuck in as far as the playoff goes. So, no, I'm completely unimpressed with him. I just think he's one of the 2 or 3 most powerful people in college football right now, and between him and Petiti, I just think we've got. I don't want to use a bad word, but I just don't think we have good leadership right now.
And
in this college football world.
Yeah, you're right. And the Petiti guy pantsed him too, Brian, which is the crazy thing. And think about this guy going to his. He did this. The presidents and the ADs. He said we need to go to 6. We need to go to 9 games because I'm going to jam through this 16-team playoff. We're the big bad SEC, and he got totally pantsed. John, you were wanting to add. Go ahead.
Well, this speaks to the whole college football playoff commission or committee. Brian said it. Reactionary. They're all reactionaries. That's what we see. Okay, what went crazy in the playoff this year? Okay, James Madison shouldn't have been in there. They should have let the ACC champion get in there. Okay, so they'll tweak that for next year. Yeah. And then next year something else will come up. But they don't look ahead, and they can't. They want to go to expanded playoff, and they can't figure out how to do it, so they just muddle along. And he did the same thing with the interim schedule. Sankey did the same thing with the interim SEC football schedule. 2 years.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. 2 years of doing
an interim,
an interim schedule. My gosh,
how hard was that?
I know,
and they didn't release it for like. Hey, Brian, on the way out, is Jackie Pearl? Does she still sing the anthem down there, or was that just a Knoxville thing?
She has sung it several times, and she does a great job.
She can sing.
She's been very involved in the Outlive charity that Bruce helped start.
Yep.
To help out, with cancer, and help out with the lodging and paying for travel and all those important things that maybe people don't think about when helping out cancer patients. So she is very, very involved with that.
Hey, on the way out, what do you think happens on Saturday night? And do you think Jackie Pearl should get to sing the anthem here? What do you think, Brian? Do you think we should lean into it?
Yes. I mean, I didn't think Auburn would win 4 straight games. So, and I think Tennessee is a really tough place to play. So I would probably pick Tennessee to win this game because Auburn's an effort and energy type team. And, you can't sustain that for, a full 18-game schedule every, twice a week. So we'll see. This is the final game for Auburn before a 1-week break. So they got Tennessee this weekend, and then they host Alabama on Saturday. So we'll see if that plays anything into this. But, yeah, I mean, I'm always going to pick Tennessee to beat Auburn at Thompson Bowling, just, as long as both teams are close to equal, as long as, these coaches are there and the way they play Tennessee with the defensively and I'd probably pick another low-scoring, typical Auburn-Tennessee game.
Brian, thank you. Great talking to you. If folks want to read your stuff or interact with you, how do you do so? How do they do so, my friend?
Oh, I appreciate that, and we've got tons of coverage of Auburn football, the portal. Auburn added 39 players in the portal. They'll have 17 offensive linemen on scholarship. I think it's 7 tight ends. So the complexion of this team has completely changed through Golish in the portal there. Of course, tons of basketball coverage. I think we've had 3 or 4 stories up since the game last night, since the nice comeback win over Texas. So all that and more. Of course, baseball starts 2 weeks from Friday. You can check it out, auburnsports.com, part of On3 Network. You can follow me on Twitter, /X at BMattAU.
Bow thy head, my friend. It was unbelievable. Listen, if our segment would have gone any longer, I was going to give you John Adams. I was going to give you John Adams credit cards with the expiration date and the little code on the back.
That'd be perfect.
Hey, so you could pay for your oil change. But thank you, my friend. Great talk. Yeah.
You used to be able to get one of these for $29.99, but not anymore.
I know. like a lot of things in our country. Prices are going up, my brother. Thank you.
Yep. All right, y'all take care.
It's like the old R&B song, ain't nothing going up but the rent. John Adams last night, somebody called us on the post game. And Matt, you'll remember this call, asking us if we will tier the teams in the conference. Do you remember that call, Matt? Will you tier the teams in the league or rank the teams in the league? Do you remember that, Matt, last night? Yeah.
Yeah. It was a really good idea.
It's a great idea. So what we're going to do on the other side is John's written a column, my SEC football predictions for 2026, and we're going to talk about that. So I want that caller to know they inspired us. And in true SEC fashion, we're not going to rank the basketball teams. We're going to talk about John Adams' way too early football rankings and what he got right and what he got wrong, and where are the Volunteers, and where's Alabama, and where's the aforementioned Auburn Tigers, who are on the schedule this year. How's our SKU ranked ahead of those SKUs? He's presented by Jennifer Morris, Next Move, SmokyMountains.com. That's her website. She's of Keller Williams. I will give you a hint. He has LSU up high. He has them too high. They too high. They too high. Brian, does that surprise you? The LSU Tigers are up there in Adams' rankings as we razz Adams a little bit.
Does he got him number 1?
Go! I don't think he has him number 1. As we continue with more. He doesn't like that, Brian. You're starting to urinate him off over here. As we continue with more, he might reach up and hit the mute button on you after this.
It's the hottest postgame show on the planet. Garza Law. Fifth quarter fan reaction. Fan reaction. As soon as the final gun sounds, we're live.
When it's time for a fresh coat of paint, run, don't walk to Walker's Painting. Interior and exterior, Walker's Painting's been making it beautiful since 1999 across the Knoxville area. New construction, repaints, commercial, residential, free estimates available. And get this, mention you heard Walker's Painting on the Basilio show, 10% off your first job. Let's go! Run, don't walk to Walker's Painting. 865-688-1410. That's 865-688-1410. Walker's Painting, making it beautiful since 1999. Check out the ad at the blog at tclub.team. Walker's Painting.
Hi, I'm Jim Simpson, owner of Simpson Meats. When's the last time you grilled a really good burger or steak? One your friends still talk about. Our goal at Simpson Meats is to make that happen every time you have a cookout. All of our cuts of meats, steaks, burgers, briskets, and pork are always fresh, flavorful, and sustainably sourced. We are family owned, so we know the importance of knowing how and where your food is raised. We have been putting quality first since 1888. Visit our butcher shop off Lovell Road or online at simpsonmeats.com.
Okay, so we really need uniforms and equipment for this season. Can I trust you with that? Cool, I'll just order them online. What? Yeah, I'm gonna hop online and I'm gonna get them ordered. Hold up, that's not a good idea. We shouldn't just spend money on some random online retailer, okay? I mean, it seems pretty convenient. Trust me, it's a terrible idea. Let me simplify this for you. SM Athletics. Okay, how do you pronounce it? SM Athletics? They're the go-to for uniforms and equipment, whether it's for universities, high schools, youth leagues, you name it. So why wouldn't you rather go with professionals who can guide us through the process, design the perfect uniforms, and deliver the best equipment? Yeah, I guess that makes sense. What's the name again? SM Athletics. Right. It's definitely smarter to go with a company that emphasizes customer service, fair pricing, and, of course, excellent products. Exactly. So, yeah, I guess it's settled then. For uniforms and equipment for all sports, it's SM Athletics.
When a dangerous, overgrown, or storm-damaged tree is threatening your home, your car, or your family, don't risk it. Call ECR Total Landscapes, your local tree-cutting experts. From precision tree removal and trimming to emergency storm cleanup, ECR Total Landscapes has the equipment and the experience to get the job done safely and efficiently. Call today to set up your free estimate, 865-384-2012, or just go online to ecrtotallandscapes.com.
Josh Collins at Collins Insurance Agency. At Collins Insurance, we strive to ensure our customers receive better coverage along with bigger savings. Our community is important to us. We want to provide exceptional service to our customers. Anybody can provide great rates, great coverage, but can you also get great service? And hey, don't just take my word for it.
What's up, everybody? Zakai Ziegler here. My family turns to Collins Insurance Agency for the best service, coverage, and price.
So don't just go online and get some random insurance. Experience the Collins Insurance difference.
Like he said, experience the Collins Insurance difference. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. And hey, their Mama Zizi approved. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. Thank you to Josh Collins and Zizi.
One more thing, Tony. Go Vols!
Newsflash, Basilio listeners, the spring real estate market just moved up. Yes, it's chilly outside and you're still in your puffy coat, but if you need to sell your East Tennessee property, you could be the hottest house on the block. Hi there. Jennifer Morris here with Keller Williams Realty. February is the sweetheart month of real estate, and savvy sellers know exactly what that means. Get ahead of the game and give me a call at 865-694-5904 or reach out at nextmovesmokymountains.com. That's nextmovesmokymountains.com, and go Vols!
Yee-haw! I've been hooting and hollering ever since I started betting with the VIP Play app. VIP Play has more than 200 leagues, every bet type you can imagine, live betting and live hosts, all with 24/7 support from real live people when you need them. Start betting better with the VIP Play app today. Don't be a better, be a better with VIP Play today.
VIP Play coming soon. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-889-9789. Must be 21 plus and located in Tennessee to bet.
Basilio here, and you know my friends at Carnes Motor Company started with a dream over a quarter century ago. I met Rob and Brian back when I still had hair.
and they were working at a huge dealership in West Knoxville. But they told me back then they wanted to sell cars on their terms, and I wanted to do radio on my terms. Their terms, just like my terms, are ultimately your terms. In both cases, you're the winner. A Car Guru's National Award winner with a 5-star rating on all sites, just like our Vols. Everything about buying a car from Carnes Motor Company is no hassle. They specialize in high-quality pre-owned vehicles between the $5,000 to $25,000 range. And if you need to sell a car, they'll either buy your car or they'll help you sell it. Carnes Motor Company also has a top-notch service department. Therefore, every vehicle is rigorously inspected and serviced prior to delivery. So you're guaranteed to get a quality pre-owned vehicle every time. If you need a place for service, they've got you covered. Come be a part of the Carnes Motor Company family and tell them you heard about it from me. Online at carnesmotor.com, Oak Ridge Highway, 1 mile past the Carnes light. Carnes Motor Company.
Shout out to Rob and Brian over at Carnes Motor Company. They got my automobile right now, and they're I tell you what, man, those guys are next level, dude. Those guys are next level, and they do great repair and service work as well. You know, we're in need of some service here, because that post-game show last night, now I think about it, was really a disgrace, and I want to apologize to the listener for what happened last night.
You've disgraced yourself before. Why does it bother you so much this time?
No, it just eats at me.
Oh.
It eats at me that we let a chance to get on here and celebrate and feel good. Mike White and his disgusting coaching, I blame him. It just drug me down. Drug me into his pit. His mire.
He's done a nice job with that Georgia team.
Really, they're good, yeah. They've got they've feasted on a bunch of cupcakes. He's had a couple of popcorn gas attacks in the league so far. Hey, Brian, that Georgia team, after watching them last night, are you buying, selling, or trading them? Because next time they go into the weight room, those guys ought to put some weight on the bar. It looks like they pick the bar up and work out with the bar.
Well, I've seen some pretty good players that look like they needed to do some weightlifting.
That's true.
Didn't need it.
Bronny boy, you buying, selling, or trading that Georgia team the rest of the year after watching that last night?
I wasn't buying them before the SEC conference play began, and I'm certainly not buying them now.
They're like a lot of teams.
Yep.
If they're hitting their threes, that's what's so intriguing about the NCAA tournament. You get a team out like that.
Yep.
They start knocking down threes. I mean, they took some. What really annoys me with 3-point shooting teams is when they force threes. When you got it open 3, fine. That's your system. That's your scheme. Go ahead, go for it. But these guys, you see it with Alabama. You saw it with Georgia and Tennessee beat both of them, where they just got to jack up a 3. Oh, I'm off balance. Oh, I'm guarded. It's okay. I'm jacking up a 3. We shoot threes. That's what we do. You heard the PA guys say 1, 2, 3. Yeah.
It's their identity.
Yeah, it's their identity. You don't need that identity.
I'll tell you one thing. Tamika Catching's nephew can play. Now, he's a nice player.
Yeah, but that was a horrible 3-point shot he took. Air ball.
At the end?
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
That likes the layup. Matt, the layup last night with 0.5 seconds. And then I thought that that Patch Adams was going to go to the monitor, old Patchy, was going to go to the monitor and look to see if it was a continuation. No. He was over there looking at time left on the clock. How many Patch Adamses, how many times, Matt, did we get to look at his derriere in the last 2 minutes of that basketball game last night when Patch Adams totally took over? He is my player of the game. Conexial drive of the game, T3 vodka, 3 of the game. Patch Adams took the game over last night, Matt.
Yeah, 3 monitor reviews in the final minute of regulation and overtime.
You like it, John?
I just
really, that was a very fitting Pat Adams type game.
I hate those things. I just hate it when it's such a trivial matter. But they go
they
there.
gotta do it.
Well, this is our protocol.
0.6 seconds
This is
left.
our protocol. We're going to get this right.
Especially Patch Adams. And, I got to say, last night, a couple of you were trying to make the point that when Akpara got elbowed in the back of the head, I just went back and looked at it during the break because Sean was talking about it, and I wanted to make sure I saw what I saw. Come to think about it, that was a forearm shiver to the back of the head.
It was. That's exactly what it would.
Yeah.
They would have called him for
think about
targeting in college football. He wouldn't have played in the next game.
Come to think about it, old Patchy baby. Old Patchy baby.
But they got that 0.6 of a second right. What did you see? I couldn't really tell it that well when he did it. Millender's the one that made that electrifying drive to the basket for the shot.
Yeah.
And then did he realize what he'd done at the end? I mean, how can the clock not be ticking in your head?
Again.
5, 4, 3, shoot it.
Pick up basketball.
And here's a team that's not at all averse to jacking one up closely guarded from 25 feet. Well,
that was the game-losing layup. Is what that was.
Yeah.
I mean, they
had guys dressed as Smurfs in the stands to support him, which is even funnier.
Well,
and they
he had a step back 3 24-footer. Take it.
The most Georgia basketball thing ever is when those guys obviously had their little setup prior to the game, the announcers. And you got that guy from Auburn, Damian Fishback, who I think is a really good sport. Now, I don't know if he knows what sport he's watching.
Big fella.
But big fella.
He's got
a few, he's got a few things he likes to say now.
Big fella.
You talk, no offense, he seems like a nice guy, but, at times I've come on here and I've added nothing. Like, I'll look in the mirror. Like, last night, I added sort of nothing. Last night's performance on the post-game show by me was a disgrace and disgusting and reprehensible and really I shame my family name.
You've done that before.
But I've never thrown up a zero like this Fishback guy.
I really like Jimmy Dykes.
You would.
I think he's really good.
Let's demarcate you liking Jimmy Dykes. Let's demarcate that with a legal ID, and then we'll get to this football countdown.
You're listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville, and W289CU Knoxville, Fan Run Radio.
A line of demarcation has been joined. A new hour is upon us. TGMD's in the house. Along with Brian Hartman, he's John Adams. My name's Tony Basilio. Dateline, Jan 28, 2026. Your Knoxville News Sentinel. As seen here in Knoxville, read all around the world. Read as part of the USA Today chain, which is owned by
Gannett.
Yep.
World's largest newspaper chain.
Yep. One of the few, the proud. Still out there publishing.
Not a lot of chains left.
Not a lot. He says, I usually predict the SEC football season right after the national championship game, but this year I waited for the transfer traffic to subside. Hey, Matt, is it too early in light of just how many moving parts there are in college football to go ahead and look ahead to next football season? Or is this, or can you do this now and have an intelligent column, as John tried to do here?
No, you can certainly try to project ahead. I mean, that's never going to change, even though there's a lot more uncertainty and just so much roster turnover and change that,
all right,
you're never going to figure it out. But it's fun to do, and there's enough data that you can. Yeah.
All right. Number one team, according to John Adams, and I want the living listener to get involved in this as well.
This is the SEC now.
This is just the SEC. This is all. Look, this is all about, Brian. What do we call it? The SEC what, Brian?
The SEC Conference?
The SEC Conference.
That's redundant.
The Southeastern Conference.
Scott Morrow, Tony going to talk about John Adams liking Jimmy Dykes for the next hour. No, I'm not, Scott. No, I'm not. You know why, Scott? just because you said that.
Okay, Tony.
All right, so
move on.
Brian, will you buy, sell, or trade? John Adams has Texas, and he says the following. Quarterback Arch Manning, who at times last year, Arch was the Achilles heel of the Texas program. That was me saying that. I added. Quarterback Arch Manning turned potential into production in the second half of the season. Second biggest reason for the Longhorns to be optimistic about 2026. The biggest reason, they got the money to go get whatever they wanted in the transfer portal, and that's exactly what they did. Brian, Texas at number 1 pole position. Are you buying, selling, or trading the Longhorns up top?
I buy that. I think they're the SEC's best chance to win a national championship and break the Big Ten streak.
T to the G to the M to the D, the team that represents our Tennessee Volunteers represent the SEC opener. It's a second consecutive year we get a shot to put a big pelt on our wall before September expires. TGMD, how do you plead to John Adams putting the Longhorns up top?
I tend to agree with it. Just on the talent alone, with what they have returning, the growing pains that Arch went through. Got to strip the offensive line, definitely, but they have a lot of talent. And Sarkisian's a good coach, even though he seems to get in his own way at times, kind of like Heupel. But yeah, they're definitely in tier 1, and I'd probably put them at the top of it going in the next year too.
They play a very beautiful game in the second week of the season against Ohio State. This time it's in their building. I encourage any of these SEC Big Ten teams going forward, and I encourage Tennessee to do this, to play those games. Even though we're in a 9-game schedule, Texas could have bought out of that thing, said, hey, we're not doing it. They're playing it. I think it's good for the sport. I think it's good for the goose. You think it's good for the gander. And, John, if they lose that game again and they get behind the 8 ball, it could knock them wobbly. That's the risk you take when you play one of those games. Be a great heavyweight game to think about all spring and summer long.
As it was this year, I thought, looking back, easy to do this in hindsight. After the playoff, we've gone through the playoffs, Texas would have been a better SEC representative than Alabama or Oklahoma. Mm-hmm. Texas, had you put this, the way Texas closed out the year, our Texas A&M and Oklahoma, they beat both those teams, and they would have been the better representative. You can't do it based on the record, but there was a way to do it. If you look at that Ohio State game and say, well, one of their losses is Ohio State, they only lost 2 other games. They also beat Vanderbilt.
To quote Jim Cornette for the playoff last year, lazy booking. Let's move along here. John Adams has LSU, ladies and gentlemen. Number 2 in America. And he says the following. Lane Kiffin changed jobs, but he hadn't changed his approach. Kiffin's loaded up on offensive skill players in the portal, just as he did at Ole Miss. He didn't stop there, though, as evidenced by LSU's number 1 ranked transfer class. Let's switch up the order. Matt Diskin, LSU number 2 in the SEC. Are you buying, selling, or trading that?
I definitely think they're one of the 2 or 3 most likely to win the national title, but I just think they have a really high floor and a low ceiling. A low floor and high ceiling, because you just total turnover. Is Sam Leavitt healthy?
Yep.
There's obviously a ton of talent, and if it gels together, which Kiffin usually finds a way to make that happen.
It's gross.
I could see them, winning, losing 2 or 3 games in the regular season, but peaking there at the end. So a high variance team, but they're definitely up there in tier 1. I agree with that. I don't know if they're 2. I'd probably put Georgia ahead of them, but they probably have more upside than anybody but Texas.
Brian, you boy Hartman, what do you got when you think about the LSU Tigers? I'm losing my voice over here.
I don't like them that high, but I think they'll be a playoff contender, legitimately. Even a 12-team playoff.
You know what's crazy, guys? What's crazy to me is that both those teams are on our schedule here. In fact, you would have thought, oh man, we lose Florida off our schedule. I'm glad to see that go, and lose Georgia off our schedule. Glad to see that go, and I hate to say it, but John's probably right, because now we play LSU when, guys? I don't have that in front of me. Is middle of the schedule?
That's
Texas
the end.
is
It's last of November.
Yeah. So by the time we get them, here's a truth. Yeah. Here's the truth about them, Matt. By the time we get them, they're either going to be checked out, half the roster is going to be looking to move on. This is the sport we're in now. Or they're going to be a damn gathering storm, and we're going to be in the wrong place at the wrong time when we get on the field against them. That potential could exist, because I see LSU as, I see them as kind of volatile this year, and it goes back to what Matt's talking about. What happens to Sam Leavitt, and can he stay healthy for an entire SEC football season? John, is that a worthwhile thought from me?
Sure. You could say that about a lot of guys, a lot of quarterbacks. Can they stay healthy? I really like him, though. I watched him at Arizona State when he had that team almost beat Texas in the playoff in 2024.
Yep.
And you look at Kiffin's track record with quarterbacks. It's absolutely sterling. He helps quarterbacks get better every time. He shapes his offense very effectively. A lot of coaches try to do this, but he's very good at shaping his offense to what his quarterback can do. And he brought in 9 receivers. He got some high-level wide receivers. Did the same thing at Ole Miss. And he brought in Jordan Seaton, the offensive tackle.
That's a huge gap.
From Colorado to protect
gap,
his blind side. And he's bolstered the defense. Plus, with Weeks coming back at linebacker, he's got 2 of the top 2 tacklers in the country now.
It all runs together. Was Jordan Seaton, guys, was he a vol target or was he a commitment at one time here?
He signed with Colorado. I don't remember.
I think he told Tennessee coaches he committed.
There you go. There you go.
He led Tennessee along.
He's one of those guys I call VFM. You have VFLs, you have VFWs, Vol for a while, and you have VFMs, Vols for a minute.
Vols for a minute?
Yeah,
He's a Vol for a minute?
Yep. Moving along. John Adams, way too early. Ranking of the SEC teams. The aforementioned by Matt Dixon, Georgia Bulldogs. We had a couple days ago Anthony Dasher on, and I'm talking to Tone about their approach, And are you surprised they didn't go portal heavy? And he said, this team, they've just done such a nice job of building and keeping and retaining their roster that they only needed a few parts, at least they felt like they did. John, were you surprised they were as quiet as they were in the portal? Or if any team's afforded that luxury, it's the Georgia Bulldogs.
Yes, I was surprised because, Kirby Smart's the best coach in college football, but what he's doing is not going to work.
No?
No. There's no way. He didn't help himself enough. He didn't go out and get a Zachariah Branch from Southern Cal, who saved his passing game last year. Imagine that team without Branch. He was their leading receiver by far. There wasn't anybody close. He didn't do that this year. I think Kirby has gotten caught up in his own success. I don't think you can have any absolutes. I don't think you can say, well, this is how we build, and this works for us. Yeah, it has worked for you, but it won't continue to work. If Texas and LSU and Texas A&M go out and get the best players in the portal, it's not going to work out for you long term. I think Georgia, and the reason I had Georgia as high as 3 is because it's got a really favorable schedule. Very favorable schedule.
They don't play Texas. They don't play LSU. They don't play Texas A&M.
There you go.
Which, by the way, you know who does? Us. And that's just a trick. Look, these schedules are as incongruent in this league as humanly possible.
With 16 teams.
You can't do it. There are going to be years where you are the bear, or the bear eats you, and years where you eat the bear. And they're going to eat the bear this year.
Well, the interim schedule that Tennessee was given proved to be very, very favorable.
The 2-year deal. Oh, yeah.
The 2-year deal.
We had a window.
That's why they made the playoff in 24.
Sure.
And if they hadn't had that schedule this past season, you might be talking about a 6-6 team. If they would have had Florida's schedule.
I've never seen anything like and then Florida compounded it by going in the non-conference. I mean, don't you know how to cancel a contract down there? I mean, I'm a white flagger. What are you doing? I mean, Matt,
that would not have looked good on them. That would have been bad optics to cancel that game in state.
What's you mean finishing 5 and 7 or whatever they did? Is that
There's
good
no way
optics?
They could, not that game.
Is that good optics?
They couldn't do that.
Is that good going out there and get your team blowed out? All right, let's move along. All right, let me ask you guys. Matt, Georgia 3. I think it's going to be interesting to see because I think this is a 1-year deal for Kirby. I think Kirby looks at his roster and says, I got young wide receivers that can play, kind of like we did last year. Last year, he knew he didn't have players. Maybe he has somebody incoming. Do you trust Kirby that he's right, Matt? And do you think the schedule's good enough that they're warranting being in the top here?
Yeah, they're absolutely in the top tier. I think they're the most consistent program in the SEC by a considerable margin right now.
Yep.
The questions about the passing game and receivers is very legitimate. It's been an issue for a number of years down there. They just haven't developed the wide receivers very well. But they kept a lot of the roster. I think they have a culture down there that they win with, and that's why they don't they don't overdo it in the portal. So I don't know if Gunnar Stockton's good enough to win a national title, because I'm not sure if Georgia's going to be elite defensively, but they're absolutely in that tier 1. I've got them in Texas in the tier 1, and then I think they're the only 2 for this upcoming year.
The one thing that kept them from being Georgia last year, and we saw it earlier here, was their secondary. That secondary was loose by Georgia standards.
It got better as the season went along.
And they went out in the portal and added a few pieces. That is the one thing. That's the one area where they addressed a weakness from last year. The thing they didn't do, which is odd, is they didn't address their offensive line, which is
they believe in their offensive line. They think
curious.
Their offensive line is stout. I have a problem with their wide receivers, though.
Moving along, Texas A&M, number 4. Now, if you listen to this show, you know that I have an axiom, and the axiom is, if there is a popcorn gas attack, popcorn flatulence in the SEC, it's Texas A&M. Now, last year that looked like a terrible take till the end of the season happened, and they literally A&M'd right out the door. I don't know how they went from way up here to the final 2 weeks of the season, and really it was the final 3 weeks, because if you think about it, that South Carolina game, if Frankie Jr. didn't dance the Irish jig on the way out, he's over there celebrating like they won something. I mean, be a football coach, man. Go in there and tell your team, we got 30 more minutes, guys. I'm not going to show this guy's over there playing to the crowd.
I love this guy.
I mean,
he's one of my favorite coaches of all time.
You talk about the village idiot. I mean, what are we doing? All right, let's move along.
He looked like that bobblehead Sean got me that.
And Matt, he was dancing around. He was dancing and showing himself.
Well, what made it so much better was when in his halftime interview, those things are usually just ridiculous.
Yeah.
totally inane. But he talks about, well, I'm not surprised. Way we played them last year? No, it's kind of like he was just saying, this is just what we do.
Yeah, we own these guys. It's a shame these games are 60 minutes, though, Frankie Jr.
But see, I didn't penalize A&M as harshly. Bottom line, a typical A&M team would not have made the playoff. A typical A&M team is not supposed to go that far.
No, you're right.
A typical A&M team would not have beaten Notre Dame in South Bend, and the SEC owes it a favor for that win Texas A&M had over Notre Dame. Kept it out of the playoffs.
No doubt about it.
And I thought, though, if you go back and look, Texas was peaking at that time when it beat it. And then in the playoff game, it lost at home, but it lost to a team that almost won the national title, and it was right there at the goal, pressing out, knocking on the end zone door at the end of the game. So I didn't think it was a typical, but I do. When I rank A&M, I always rank them too high. I just, I can't.
There's too much talent. Look, you've got to account for the talent. And then the history somewhere along the way, history matters. But I'll tell you this Mike Elko guy, he's got a nice staff. They do a really nice job. They've done a really nice job of identifying. It seems like they're in much more capable hands than they were under the previous regime. And he's done a nice job. He's a really nice coach.
The thing about it, though, with A&M now in the NIL world, A&M has so much money. And at the end of the day, you can't get around that. At some point, that kicks in and becomes the overriding factor.
They got Nashville's Marcel Reed. They went out in the transfer portal and flexed on several teams, including Alabama. Do they make the playoffs, Matt? Back-to-back seasons. Matt Dixon, are you buying, selling, or trading A&M in the 4 slot, which would almost guarantee them a playoff spot in this league this year?
Yeah,
it's hard, right? And this is hard. This is hard.
I don't think they make the playoffs again. They were, they're not winning playoff games with Marcel Reed at quarterback. I don't think he's very good. And they lost their OC, who went to be the Kansas State head coach, and Colin Klein, who I think did a pretty good job. But they're going to be uber talented. I think Mike Elko is a pretty good head coach, really good defensive mind. They'll be in that 7 to 9 win range, but I think they had a lot of things go their way this past year, and it's hard for that to happen 2 years in a row. I'd sell them at 4.
I guess I like
Marcel. Big drop off after the top 2.
Excuse me, Matt. I think I like Marcel Reed more than you do.
Yep.
I think he's talented. I think he's inconsistent. I watched him lead that game-winning drive in the final minutes against Notre Dame in South Bend, the comeback against South Carolina. He looked awful in the first half against South Carolina, then came back and was terrific in the second half. Then against Miami, he just couldn't outduel Carson Beck, and you need to be able to outduel Carson Beck. But I think there's a chance he gets better, and he is a really good runner, and I love quarterbacks that can run and make plays like that. He was great against LSU in that blowout win at Tiger Stadium. So I think, I guess that's based on him getting better. I think some of the national polls had Oklahoma ahead of A&M.
No,
and
not with the talent. Here's where this is the interesting part of the league. And you're going to see Tennessee's in this. This is the interesting. You get past those first 3 teams. This is what's happened to the conference, okay? Now, some of you don't like what Matt said the other day, and what I'm saying, which is I've come to the conclusion that the Big Ten's catching our league.
There's no doubt about it.
The reason they're catching our league is this spot right in here where we are right now. This spot where we are right in, because we're about to talk about the middle And I'm not sure if A&M this year is in the middle, like Matt's saying, or they're in the elite. I don't know that.
It's kind of like a borderline team.
It really is. No, it really is. And you know what? Georgia, if they're wrong about their roster, John, they could be in the middle of the league too. If he's wrong in not going into the portal, his fan base is going to be all over him because he showed a little arrogance here because they've got the money to do it.
I'm not sure they have the money to do it.
Whoa! We come back on the other side. Here's the deal. This is I want your thoughts on this conversation so far. We've got, when you look at Texas up top, LSU, John has 2. I think they're too high. However, I do see the merit in thinking they could get there. I think there are too many question marks, and I think Lane Kiffin's too volatile. I don't know. I don't know what to think.
Those are fair points.
Yeah, Georgia. The Georgia team I saw in September is capable of going 8-4, and basically they're running it back. Except they have added to their secondary, but where does their pass rush come from? And did they guess right on their offensive line? Are they going to be there? It's a really intriguing. It sets up for an intriguing 2026 with this 9-game schedule, which again, you talk about A&M. Their final three SEC games, okay, are Tennessee. That will not be an easy game for A&M. Oklahoma, that could be those two aforementioned teams could both be fighting for playoff spots at the end. Who knows? It could get crazy. And then Texas, as we know, will be their final game. It's all on the table this year in the league. The only thing I can tell you about the next football season, and I'm going to jump leagues here, is that Jimmy Haslam will be presiding over a train wreck in Cleveland. And I got time for it because hiring Monken because you can control him is one of the greatest things maybe ever. Fight on, Browns. Fight on, Browns. We continue with more on the other side after this. Are you currently a residential electrician? Would you like more benefits, better pay, more upside? What about a $3,000 signing bonus? Free company-paid health insurance, annual profit share, company vehicle, gas card, much more. Call Advent Electric today. Advent, known for their large commercial jobs around town, and due to high demand, they're adding additional roles for their residential department. Maybe you know a friend, family member that's a residential electrician. Spread the word. Email hr@adventelectric.com. hr@adventelectric.com. 865-588-0631 and ask for the Tony B 3K signing bonus. Advent Electric is hiring. You got to dream about buying some land and building on that land. Well, Waterside Contracting is your ticket. 25 years of making dreams come true, Michael Scott. For hundreds in our area, custom homes or remodels, Waterside Contracting will build on your lot. They do incredible work all over the area. Structural integrity, quality without compromise. It's a way of life with Waterside Contract. Check out the wonderful work Waterside does. WatersideContractingLLC.com. When it's time for your dreams to come true. Quality without compromising. Waterside Contracting.
College football fans, Chris Fowler here with the play call. This season, go for Dose with ice-cold refreshing Dos Equis. It's more than a single play. It's a mindset. Think of it as a 2-point conversion for real life. Taking the risk, making the bold move. Whenever we get the chance to go big, we take it. On the field and off, always go for Dose with Dos Equis.
Enjoy Dos Equis responsibly. Copyright 2024 Dos Equis Lager Especial Beer. Imported by Cervezas Mexicanas, White Plains, New York.
Hi, I'm Jim Simpson, owner of Simpson Meats. When's the last time you grilled a really good burger or steak? One your friends still talk about. Our goal at Simpson Meats is to make that happen every time you have a cookout. All of our cuts of meats, steaks, burgers, briskets, and pork are always fresh, flavorful, and sustainably sourced. We are family owned, so we know the importance of knowing how and where your food is raised. We have been putting quality first since 1888. Visit our butcher shop off Lovell Road or online at simpsonmeats.com.
Tony Basilio along with the great Mark Griffin. And we're here to talk about our friends at Performance Medicine. And Griff, their slogan, stay educated, stay healthy. That's you.
Wow. I really like to think that, Tony, and I'd like to give Dr. Rogers a lot of credit because I definitely want to stay educated and healthy, and knowing that he's putting the time and effort in to make sure of my care, I want to encourage your listeners to put the time to learn and become educated and get to know Dr. Rogers and see if it can help with your health as well.
And there's a really, really easy way to do that. In fact, they've got their own YouTube channel. You can see Dr. Rogers for himself with his staff. It's called The Performance Medicine Show over at the Performance Medicine channel over on YouTube. Also, more information at performancemedicine.net. To our friends in North Knoxville, a brand new location over in Fountain City, now accepting patients. So many ways to reach Dr. Rogers. And like they say, stay educated, stay healthy. Performance Medicine, online, performancemedicine.net.
Located in Knoxville's historic Old City, Barley's offers great food, live music, the best draft beer selection in town, and now your new favorite place to watch sports. Their indoor projector is perfect for any weather, and they've revamped their upstairs area with more TVs to take in all of the action. Their menu features hand-battered chicken tenders, juicy burgers, fresh salads, and the tastiest pizza in Knoxville. You can enjoy their happy hour drink specials daily from open until 6 p.m. Barley's Tap Room and Pizzeria.
Basilio here with my buddy, Kenexial Kristen.
Hey Tony, good to see ya. Kenexial builds fleet technology that helps transportation and logistics companies win big. Live GPS, easy ELD and compliance tools, AI dash cameras, and asset tracking, all backed by the #1 U.S. customer support team. Want a better playbook for your operations? Visit Kenexial.com/Tony. That's KONEXIAL.com/Tony. Kenexial, built for drivers, trusted by fleets, and proud Vol fans.
Tony Basilio here, and I got the great Chad Stockton of FC Alliance 2026. Chad, do you believe we've made it?
Boys and girls teams start off the new year at big national event showcases. We got our younger kids training indoors and doing a lot of things to get better. So we're excited about what the future holds.
Chad, I hear the juice behind you. I hear the kids. Your program reaches throughout East Tennessee. If folks want to get involved, what's the advice?
We're easy to get in touch with. We offer players at all ages, all levels, all experience. We have a program for all of our kids that we have, and we're excited for anyone to join us.
And even some Lady Vols as well. Several college players all over the country, yes?
Absolutely. We had a lot of girls that we were able to watch play in the NCAA tournament. A lot of our former players made big runs through the tournament. We're so excited for them.
Growing the beautiful game in this, the year of the World Cup in North America. Celebrate the beautiful game. Get your child involved. FCAllianceKnox.org. That's FCAllianceKnox.org. And Chad, thank you, man. Keep growing the beautiful game.
Absolutely, Tony, and thank you very much.
Preparing food for a big gathering can really take it out of you. That's why you need to call Calhoun's and check out their selection of party platters. Whether you're hosting a party for the big game, a reunion, or just an everyday gathering, a Calhoun's party platter is next level. Choose from Calhoun's always excellent chicken tenders, fly with Calhoun's wings, or boneless wings with a variety of dipping sauces, award-winning next-level melt-in-your-mouth barbecue ribs, or delicious spinach artichoke dip, or get one of each. Plus, if you're doing burgers or sandwiches, Calhoun's has lots of side dishes like spinach Maria, baked cinnamon apples, Smoky Mountain baked beans, or creamy coleslaw. Available in pints, quarts, and gallons. And to finish things off, pick up one of Calhoun's great desserts to go, including homemade cheesecake or key lime pie. Calhoun's, simply your go-to party headquarters. With 9 locations all over East Tennessee, you can order online and just pick it up. Calhoun's, one of the Copper Cellar family of restaurants, along with Chesapeake's, Copper Cellar, Corner 16, Cherokee Grill, and Smoky Mountain Brewery. Eat local, eat good.
From the sunrise over the Smokies to the Saturday cheers at Neyland Stadium, Knoxville isn't just where we live, it's home. But let's be honest, finding your perfect spot in a hot market can feel like a full-time job. Whether you're looking for a Craftsman in 4th and Gill, a family home in Farragut, or a view in South Knox, the market moves fast. You need more than a listing. You need an edge. And that's where I come in, Jennifer Morris with Keller Williams Realty. And I specialize in helping Knoxville buyers win. I don't just find houses, I find the right fit for your budget and your lifestyle. Ready to unlock your front door? Visit nextmovesmokymountains.com or call me at 865-694-5904. That's nextmovesmokymountains.com. And as always, go Vols.
I want to shout out those across the state. I'm looking in our YouTube chat, and there are people saying they've been snowed inside, stuck inside. Just for those outside the area, I just want to, because we bring you a little flavor of home. You know, you listen to us to get a little flavor of home, and some of you grew up here. Let me tell you this. I've been here since, 1987, fall of 87 as a student. John and I have been here about the same time, right?
87, yeah.
Okay. I don't ever remember a winter stretch like what we're going through right now. And I think part of the reason why we were also just negative last night is this weather, too. You can't get outside. I got outside a couple days ago just to do it for like 30 minutes, and the wind was just whipping in your face. I mean, it's so cold. So cold. And my friends in Pennsylvania tell me it has been oppressively vicious on them. Like, I looked up last night, they had it was like 5 degrees with 25-mile-an-hour winds. Like, what are we doing? And I'm kind of a junk guy, and I've got like a little side business that kind of keeps me interested in what I'm doing here, because I have to be doing something. I've got one of those minds. And I talked to a guy in Wisconsin who's shipping us something, and he said, I haven't forgotten about you, the thing that you purchased, some auction thing. And he said, I haven't forgotten about you, but it was buried in the back of a truck that died a week and a half ago, and I just wanted to get in. And I thought, I didn't even thought about it, whatever. But when he described what they're going through in Wisconsin and just how brutally cold it's been there, I look at Laura and I'm like, how do people live in that? We've been through this for 2 weeks, and it is driving me stir crazy. How do people do it, John? How do they do it?
Well, they adjust to it. They accept it. It's the norm there, so you adjust to it. And they dress really warm. They have some heavy-duty clothes.
And drink a lot. And when they come out to play in the spring, they all look like blocks. No offense to them.
That's why when they go, it's chilly in April down in Myrtle Beach, and you got these Michigan people out frolicking in the water.
No doubt about it. It's like 60 in the water, and we're looking at it and we're going,
oh, and get
it's
near
45 degrees. I mean, up my you talk about beanie weenie when you jump in that water. By the way, I want to shout out all my friends in Middle Tennessee and West Tennessee, several of whom can't get out of their houses, several of whom still don't have power, several of whom are living through a living, breathing nightmare. I saw a story on one of the national news, I think it was NBC last night. They said that there was a couple in Tennessee. They showed them playing board games. They're in the dark, and they were playing board games during the day, this young family. That night, overnight, the water pipes in their house broke, and water started falling on them. And now they're in a shelter. I mean, geez, Louise to geez.
Well,
Move along.
When the weather is that bad,
yeah,
and you need to go to a hotel, and you're out of heat, but if the roads are iced, you can't get to a hotel.
That's correct. That's what these people were talking
about. And that's how people die.
That's the point. Yes. It's very harrowing. Prayers up for everybody.
I think we need to get a little more upbeat.
Moving along. Well, I would like to talk about Georgia and last night's basketball game, but I can't do that. I'm trying to stay upbeat in here. Look, we've got a great fall season to look forward to. I'm trying to warm everybody up here. I'm warming the cockles of my heart thinking about it. And you know what, Matt? I'll tell you this right now. I would 10-1 rather play a season like the one the Vols are getting ready to play. And I don't know what our record's going to be. But I love high degree of difficulty schedules. I think you get your bang for your buck as a fan when your team every other week, Matt, is playing somebody on that schedule that is, is an excellent team or a signature team or however you want to put it. And we got one of those schedules coming up in the fall here.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you get Texas coming to Neyland Stadium is
neat.
Is cool enough, and then you got the Arch Manning factor, which is really cool.
Yep.
LSU and Kiffin coming back there at the end of the year. Alabama, obviously. So yeah, the 5 home games this year, might actually be worth what Danny's charging.
Interesting.
You know what? When Matt was saying that, I was thinking, Tennessee fans love to beat Alabama.
Love.
But they won 2 of the last 4 against Alabama, haven't they?
Yes.
I think Tennessee, if you were listed, who would you like to beat the most?
Yeah.
I think everybody in the SEC looks at Texas like they know that Texas thinks it's better than all of you beat.
They're the Notre Dame of this deal.
Yeah. I think they would want to beat Texas more than they would Alabama. And I think they would want to beat LSU more than Alabama because the Kiffin factor still exists, but it's been magnified now because when Ole Miss went through that whole charade with Lane Kiffin, it was just unbelievable.
Think about it. The Vols have
what he put them through.
They have him coming here.
Yeah.
They have Texas coming here.
And they have Alabama.
They have Alabama coming here.
Alabama's the third.
And Comrade Golish comes back.
Well, nobody cares about that.
But nobody cares about Stephen F. and Pearl because nobody cares about Auburn. We don't give a damn about the whole state of Alabama.
So,
you clowns.
But what Lane Kiffin, I think Tennessee fans empathize with Ole Miss. It brought back all that trauma that Tennessee went through because it loved Lane Kiffin, and then he leaves them. And Ole Miss loved him more, and he left them too in a worse manner than he did Tennessee.
And if he got the opportunity, the right opportunity, he would leave LSU in a heartbeat.
Well, sure
that's
he
who
would.
he is. He's got a restless heart. A restless change is blowing through his life. John Waite, great song. All right, let's move along here.
Oh yeah,
we've got Oklahoma number 5. The first 4 are Texas, LSU, Georgia, A&M. We're getting ready to get to the Vols, ladies and gentlemen.
I feel pretty good.
Roll, please.
But I feel pretty good about my top 3 teams.
I don't like Oklahoma at 5 at all.
And then I'm not A&M at 4.
No.
I'm okay with it.
No.
But then when I get down to this area,
shake it up. The cars here, right here. Shake it up, city here.
Yeah, Oklahoma. This team, I think Brent Venables is going to get fired at some point. Sure.
Oh, Matt, Oklahoma at 5. Let's begin our sell-off here, Matt.
I feel like that's a little too high for them.
Too high.
But the argument for it would be who do you put ahead of them? But I think there's kind of a jumbled mess there in kind of the middle of the pack of teams that can make the playoffs and certainly are should have those expectations. Oklahoma's certainly in that group because they have Mateer coming back.
Yes.
And the defense they're going to have a top 10, top 15 defense at worst. So that gives them a high floor. In that 5 to 8, 5 to 9 range. Yeah, Oklahoma definitely belongs.
All right, let's move along. Tennessee, number 6. It's interesting, right? They're 6 in this Adams thing, and I think they belong there, by the way. Imagine if they would have gotten, now John, you just do the math in your head. This is your diamond, your dance floor. If they would have gotten the quarterback from Arizona State, where would the Vols be right now in your preseason poll?
If they'd have gotten the quarterback from where?
Arizona State.
Where would they be in my poll?
Yeah. They got him and LSU didn't.
Oh.
It's worth asking.
They might be 4th.
They would be. You would pick them to win. You would pick them to be in the.
They would have
playoff.
a quarterback.
to take them to the playoffs.
They would have an outside shot at a quarterback. I mean, at the playoffs. Because they've got a couple of proven receivers coming back.
No question.
Got a good tight end.
It made no sense. Them not swinging in those circles.
See, what I don't get
just doesn't make any sense.
But again, they obviously believe somewhat in the quarterbacks they have. Otherwise, why in the world wouldn't you sign Bo Prabula? He's a proven SEC quarterback. He's not a superstar, but he can win games for you. He can run. He can run this offense.
I don't know, John. Now you just made my stomach turn. If you give me a choice between Air or Bo Prabula, Matt, I might choose Air. Know what I mean, Matt?
Yeah, well, I think that's where Tennessee kind of got caught. They wanted one of those difference makers and like a surefire upgrade, but those guys got super expensive and you missed out on them.
Yep.
And then everybody else, you didn't view them as like upgrades, or you wouldn't guarantee that they're starting, and so you wind up missing on them. You had to get a quarterback, and you got one at the bottom, but I mean, you're going to have to rely on either McIntyre or Faison at some point this year.
The idea of playing an inexperienced quarterback against that schedule, to me, I'm thinking about it. I'm putting myself in a position of if I'm a coach and my job's on the line, I'm taking Bo Prabula. You guys can knock him all you want. I would much rather have him than two guys that haven't played.
Brian Hartman. So we got Oklahoma 5, Tennessee 6, and Alabama 7. So let's kind of group them together, Bri. Who finishes higher out of that group of teams? And we'll put Missouri in there because that's the middle of the league, and this is the reason that you look at these two leagues, and I'm talking about the AFC and the NFC of this thing, or what would you call them? The MWC, the Midwest Conference, and the South Conference, and the SEC.
I don't know what you're talking about now.
Well, it's like the AFC and the NFC. Like we have the two power leagues in the deal. We run the deal, the Big Ten and the SEC, and the difference between the two leagues is going to be which league is better in this spot. And we're kind of slipping a little bit here. You start telling me
Definitely.
Oklahoma's number 5 in your deal, and Tennessee's 6, and Alabama's 7, and the Missouri's 8, and Ole Miss is 9. Orient those teams as you would. And then, Matt, I want you to do that.
Okay. I think Oklahoma is the top of those. I think Tennessee's 2nd.
Okay.
I'll go with Alabama 3 and Missouri 4.
Well,
you agree with John? Okay.
Thanks, Brian. Checks in the mail.
He likes.
Were you hoping that I wouldn't disagree with you?
No. He likes your vote of confidence. No, you just do it as you would do it. Matt, as you would do it. You got Oklahoma, Tennessee, Alabama, Missouri, Ole Miss. Group them as you will, Matt.
Yeah, I think Missouri's almost out of this tier. They're at the very bottom.
Yep.
Ole Miss without Chambliss would be just above Missouri, and then I'd put Oklahoma at the top because you know what you're going to get defensively, and Mateer's back. The other two are breaking in new quarterbacks. So and then Tennessee and Bama are just kind of right on top of each other. That game, where that'll be decided the third Saturday in October.
I thought Missouri, by getting Ole Miss transfers, it got its quarterback, Austin Simmons.
Yeah.
And it got a wide receiver I really like, Caden Lee.
Yeah.
Okay, Missouri really helped itself there. I think if Tennessee could have gotten both those guys, I would like it a lot more going into next season.
Timothy McGee, $10 super chat. Super chats take precedence. Says the following. Then if we're not going to give a chance, why recruit quarterbacks that are 4- and 5-star just to ride the bench? Sometimes you have to be patient and let them experience. Hey, Timothy, that's not what we're saying. What we're saying is there's a saying, okay? It's called from the frying pan into the fire. What is that saying? Is it the fry? Something about.
Yeah, you're not real good on sayings.
But what is that saying?
He jumped from the frying pan into the fire.
That's what you're doing when you take two inexperienced quarterbacks, any two inexperienced quarterbacks, and putting them against that schedule.
I really don't like your analogy there, but here's the thing. I just think you're better off. I would forget these 4- and 5-star high school guys.
Yep.
I would get my quarterback in the portal every year. Every year.
But Watson Brown said yesterday, he said, till that's proven differently. He said, I'm looking at the playoff teams, and they all basically went in the portal.
Sure.
And got a quarterback.
You know what? Why develop a guy? You develop a guy, and then Texas comes and takes him away. Or Ohio State. Or Miami.
It's a really stupid sport right now. And what Miami did, Matt, have we been on? You haven't been on. We haven't talked about this. What they did with this Mensa guy, Matt, is one of the more disgusting things ever.
Why is it disgusting?
And that commissioner can do nothing about it. There's nothing anybody can do about it.
Well, it's a great move for Miami.
Oh, it's an incredible move, but it's gross. It's gross.
Why? You're just doing what you can to win.
Well, why don't we do that?
Good question. Good question.
I mean, we're on probation, Tone.
Oh, I forgot. Yeah. Well, Danny charges.
That's just not Heupel. Heupel's not going to operate that way.
But he needs to.
For better or worse, I just don't think he's going to go tamper that blatantly with another quarterback like that.
Why would?
And it might ultimately cost him his job. But they've gone heavy on the high school stuff. I think a little too heavy, because they haven't proven they can develop enough guys. But that's what they set out to do like 2 years ago. And
weird.
You got to have it pan out at some point.
Hope it works. Hey, by the way, VFL's got a good point here. Austin Simmons could have been an interesting look for Tennessee.
Yes.
Early on in the process. See, that's what I'm talking about. You identify a guy. You're honest with yourself. You say, hey, we know that this guy over here says a good thing and talks a good game and wants to play in our stadium, but he's going to go to Texas Tech because they're going to pay him $5 million and we're not. And then this guy at Arizona State, we know we're going to flirt around with him and he would be a nice fit in our offense if he's healthy, but he's not. Austin Simmons in Tennessee's offense would be an intriguing idea, John.
Yeah, he's in a limited body of work. He's been a little bit loose with the football, thrown some interceptions.
Sure he does, yeah.
But he can run. He maneuvers well in the pocket, and he's got a really nice arm. And you can't help but go back to the year before in 24 when Jackson Dart's hurt.
Yep.
Later comes back in against Georgia, but he's hurt. Austin Simmons goes in against Georgia in a crucial game and leads Ole Miss right on the field for a touchdown, like he'd been doing it his whole life. I thought, to me, that was really significant. The guy can handle pressure. And so he got beat out by one of the best quarterbacks in the country. It was kind of – so, yeah, I would – but see, that's where I don't care if you can't get the top guys.
Yeah.
Okay, to me, you're not overpaying if this saves your season.
Hey, Matt, what did you think of Danny White's get-up last night? They showed him for several seconds at the game. He had like a 90-second. He was on camera for 90 seconds last night. I was looking for his orange. Did he have like a power tee on, Brian? He wearing on his person?
I didn't notice.
No. Matt, did you notice it? Because I think Rick Barnes looked at him post-game and said, where's your orange, man? Like TR back in the day.
Yeah, that's what I said last night on the post game. Maybe he had an orange lanyard under the jacket.
What a great line. A little joke for the folks in the first. How many rows, Matt, in TBA? Like 5.
Well, I mean, it's everybody
rows?
on the floor, and then everybody probably, I don't know, maybe 10 or so.
Are you guys comfortable with John having Alabama at 7? Tide break in a new quarterback. Best case scenario, freshman running back E.J. Crowell, or Crowell, how do we pronounce his name, becomes an immediate star. Because they were anemic last year in a running game. They were pretty mid across the board.
And they go out and get Hollywood Smothers from NC State.
And what happens?
And Texas says, no, I think we'd like him. We'll take him.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Do you feel sorry for Matt for Alabama in this era? Is it hurting your heart to see this?
Absolutely not. They don't deserve to win another game for what they just had the greatest 15-year run dynasty in the history of the sport. Every loss they get is deserved. I think the boys are really good coach.
Very good.
Not the greatest fit there, and the way he plays, they're just not physical enough to, I think, win a lot of games against great teams. But and they obviously have some of the NIL and money issues down there.
Yes.
That is a factor for them. But I mean, I think they'll be hovering right around the playoffs, about every year. Some years they'll make it, some they don't.
John, is this their lot in life right now? Alabama, middle of the pack in the league?
I think so. I do. It doesn't. It's all about the money, and to me, that was so telling. Do you think if Texas got a commitment for a running back, do you think Alabama could go in and say, okay, no, we're going to pay more to come there? No, they can't. So Alabama will not be I don't see Alabama being at the top of the conference anymore. I mean, look what it had. It had arguably the greatest coach of all time twice in Bear Bryant and Nick Saban, and it had two dynasties.
And would a Nick Saban go down there right now in the current conditions? That's the thing you got to ask yourself, and the answer is no. Would a Bear
Bryant?
You know
what? Bear Bryant wouldn't either.
No, sir.
Bear Bryant is shrewd as he would.
Sir.
He'd be at Texas.
See, and if you're a Bama fan and you're listening, the reality is that the Sand, you need collective bargaining more than anybody and a salary cap, because the sand has shifted beneath your feet. And as long as we're in the anarchy period, you're going to continue to commit guys like Hollywood Smothers and the haves in the league, and you're not a have. We're a have. You're not a have. Now, we don't act like a have because we have an AD that wants to pretend like we're on probation and that the NCAA still exists and it's like 1988 or something. I don't understand it, but it's his dime and his dance floor, and he collects a lot of dimes to build a lot of dance floors. So Alabama cannot compete in the current configuration at the very tippy top. All right, the bottom of the league, Florida is at number 10, Auburn, Kentucky, South Carolina, Vanderbilt. Matt, who will, out of those teams, Florida, Auburn, Kentucky, South Carolina, Vanderbilt, who finishes in the 14th spot this year? Who's the dregs of the dregs? This is another spot where the league has slipped, by the
Kentucky.
way. The league has slipped here. There's a lot of bad teams at the bottom of this thing right now. There's some bad teams in this league, y'all. We have to admit that.
Well, see, Matt says Kentucky.
Yeah.
Kentucky really helped itself in the portal.
No doubt.
And Kentucky showed me that it's willing to spend money.
But they straight blow. They still blow. Yeah, they are. Yeah, they surprised me willing to spend some money.
But that's why I have them ahead of South Carolina. That's one of the few things I was right on last year. I thought South Carolina is vastly overrated, and I think people are overrating it again.
Yeah.
As much as I like Shane Beamer.
Here's my question for anybody listening. Where is South Carolina investing their money? I'm asking for a friend.
Quarterback and pass rusher.
No. What sport, Matt?
Women's basketball.
Women's basketball.
That's what they're doing. They're spending the most in that deal. That's what they're doing, Joe.
They suck at everything else right now.
That basketball team they put on the floor against Florida last night. We're doing the post game in here.
I didn't watch any of that
John,
game.
What was the final? At one point, Florida was doubling their score, almost tripling it at one point.
Where was the game?
It was at South Carolina.
Wow.
What was the final, Bri? Did they get doubled up?
No, they didn't get doubled up, but it was probably a 30 to 40 point final score. I didn't watch a second of it either.
Hideous. hideous game I had on the monitor here.
It was 95-48.
Oh my God!
Pretty close to getting doubled.
That's close to 50.
On your home court.
On your home court. And walking out there with a straight face and charging people admission.
What about
turning on the lights for that?
LSU was way down against Mississippi State. Wasn't that at LSU?
That poor LSU team. That poor kid. The guy from Knoxville who we've known and loved all these years, graduate of Beano's High School.
He's going to get fired.
Well, I mean, when your AD comes out and says if you don't make the NCAA tournament, you're getting fired publicly, and then you proceed from there to drop like a rock, I'd say, yeah, he's working on it. All right, here's the deal. We're going to do an overtime segment. I want you to give me your thoughts on this league this year, because I'm looking at the league, and I think Blake Topmeyer's got a good point. This league on paper just doesn't look like lights out this season. It looks like there's a couple of pretty good teams, a lot of question marks, a lot of ground to be had, a lot of room to be made up, a lot of, dare I say, opportunity. There are going to be teams that come out of this middle thing that might scratch into the playoffs before this thing's over. The playoffs. And so we can talk about that. 865-200. 5402. Again, 865-200-5402. And we will get some calls in because there are none right now. I want your thoughts, though, because it's the first time we've asked for them today, and a day where callers have come first. No doubt about it. And a day where the playbook with William Pattison is on the way next.
You're listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville, and W289CU Knoxville. Fan Run Radio.
Yeah. There we go. Seymour Joe asks over on YouTube, Tony, who controls the pop-up ads? Hey, Seymour Joe, YouTube ain't my dime, not my dance floor, brah. So it ain't me. I can promise you that. I have a YouTube Premium subscription, which keeps me from getting pop-up ads. YouTube Premium. It's like $12 a month or something. It's been a very good investment for me because I play a lot of music along with stuff on YouTube. So I don't like ads popping up in the middle of when I'm playing. So, John, your thoughts on taking an hour and doing that? I thought that was time well spent, and I think it illustrates the league it's in a weird spot right now with this portal. It's a weird, isn't it?
Well, and what's happened too, we had Alabama was at the very top of the sport for a long time. Mm-hmm. Georgia became the team. It has the coach. But we're seeing the shift. Those teams aren't at the top of college football. They aren't even at the top of the SEC. Now, maybe I'm being a little quick on the trigger toward Georgia, but I just kind of see the way this is going. I just don't think that approach works now. I don't think you can have a system that you believe in and say, this is what I'm going with, it's worked, and I'm going to keep working it. You've got to keep looking around and think, how can we get better? How can we improve this? Texas, with all its money, recruiting strongly in the high school ranks under Steve Sarkisian, but Sarkisian looked at it and he said, I didn't make the playoff this year.
No.
Now, he had a playoff caliber team, but he didn't make it, so he says, what do I need to do? What you have to do, you have to look beyond your needs. You say, okay, we need a receiver, we need an offensive guard, we need a linebacker. Yeah. Let's fill those needs, and then our program will sustain itself because we're building with high school talent, and we've got great high school talent. I don't believe that works. I don't believe you win a championship that way. I think now you have to look at it and you say, okay, we got 3 starters coming back in the offensive line. We got two backups that didn't start last year, but we really like them. So we've got continuity. We'll be better there. You got to look at the portal and say, if I get this offensive tackle from Texas Tech or Kansas State,
we can win it.
Will I be better?
Be better.
I think you've got to ask yourself that in every area. Can I be better? And don't try to hold true to some philosophy or some system.
Hey, Matt, I look at this deal after we just went through this exercise, and it's curious what's happened to our league in the portal era. Because a lot of these teams that I thought would be a lot better in the portal era, the Auburns of the world, I would have thought Alabama with their name recognition. This is how silly I am. Maybe if Saban was still there, people would give them, agents might give them hometown discounts. I asked, our buddy down there who's from Pennsylvania. What's the guy's name who jumps on with us? God, I can picture him. Help me out here.
Kevin Skarbinsky.
Hey, Kev. Did Saban know this was happening? Is that why he got out? He said, yeah, that's exactly why he got out. They don't have the budget to sustain what he wanted to sustain, and he's now broadcasting. He said, I'm not going to sit there and coach a 9-3 football team. Because now those Alabama fans don't realize that yet, John. When do you think that's going to – it's got to dawn on them soon, right? That this is who they are?
I think this was a watershed moment when Hollywood Smothers, a proven running back,
just a total flex,
and the fact that Alabama, so terribly needed running back, and E.J. Kroll, the freshman, may prove to be great, but still, you don't win with one running back. Just very pedestrian at running back the last couple of years. Alabama doesn't. It gets him, and then Texas takes him away. And then Justice Haynes, who was at Alabama, and goes to Michigan, and he got hurt last year, but he was looking really strong before he got hurt. He goes to Georgia Tech.
He's on our schedule.
He goes to Georgia Tech.
He's on our schedule.
But Alabama fans, they have to be looking at that like, why couldn't we go get Justice Haynes back?
He's on our schedule. Let's go back to the phones. 865-200-5402. Whatever that I just said. Hi, welcome in. You're on the air. I got my sun lamp on. Want some sun, John?
Hello, guys. It's Music City Sam.
Hey, Sammy. Good to hear your voice, brother.
I'm West Tennessee Sam today. I'm working in Jackson, and I can attest that it is pretty bad out here.
You have a vehicle suited for that?
Yeah, I drive a 4x4 truck.
Oh, yeah. God bless you.
They didn't even treat the main roads, much less any back roads. So,
wow. Prayers
up to everyone. A lot of my friends in Nashville still don't have power almost a week later. So it's pretty unfortunate.
And don't have power for those outside the region in a time where the sun's not coming out a lot. It's extremely windy all week. It is brutally cold here for this part of the country. Brutally cold. Well, for any part of the country, this is nastiness. What we've had here.
Yeah, it's not good. Hey, I thought this was curious. I'm going to read off this coach's record, and this is someone in the past. These are, 8 seasons in a row. And we'll see if this guy would have gotten fired by now. 6-5, 6-6, 7-5, 6-6, 10-2, 8-4, 10-3, 8-5, and then the next year he won a national championship. Can anyone guess who it is? His name's Nick Saban. His prior years to 2003, that was his records. Is that not he would have been fired long before he ever had a chance to win any national championships if he started coaching right now.
What do you think, John?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
It's just wild to think.
And you wonder how many guys get thrown away today that could do it if they were given the time to learn their lessons and do it. Because Saban says that. He says there were things I did there at Michigan State. I heard him say it on that game day show this year. He said but the thing about me was I learned my lessons. He said I went into my office and I wrote my notes and I learned my lessons. You got to learn your lessons in this deal.
And Nick Saban is very analytical.
Yeah.
When he took the LSU job, he took it because he knew that per capita, Louisiana produced more NFL prospects than just about anybody.
Yes.
He did his homework, and that's for the same reason. That's why he left. That's why he got out of coaching, because he knew where this was headed with Alabama. That's the only reason. You think he would have left if he thought he was going to keep winning championships?
Hey, Sam, you think the Bammers understand that it's over for them? Do you think they get it?
No. That's all they live for. You drive through Alabama, the only thing you see are just A's everywhere. That's all that there is. But no, they don't get it.
You know another thing?
But I thought,
somebody else brought Dabo up. Well, somebody brought Dabo up, which is interesting because they both were pretty dominant in that same era, that same period of time. If we didn't gift Dabo Taj Boyd when Kiffin did that, Matt, do they take off? That's one of my great unanswered questions.
No, probably not.
We gave.
He almost didn't get it taken off with Taj Boyd. I think they had Deshaun Watson came along, and that was kind of the key that got that thing going.
Wow.
But no, Dabo doesn't make it in today's age.
Well, Sam makes a great point. Sometimes coaches, they do learn. The coaches, like teams, can get better. They learn from their mistakes.
Yeah.
But when you're paying the money that's being paid now, when you're paying somebody $10 million, you don't give them 5-6 years to get better. They got to be good when they run out on the field the first time when they're making that kind of money.
Crazy. And that's why Heupel's in a critical period here.
Yes.
That's what we're talking about. I think it's what Sam's getting at.
That's exactly why I did this, because Nick Saban was 51 years old when he went 8-5 the year before his national championship, and Josh Heupel's 47. And he has shown an ability to change, regardless of what some people in the chat always like to say. I mean, the offseason changes he made, he had to, and that's why I said the Vanderbilt game was the best thing that could have ever happened to this program and him. So it's just a very curious. I'm just looking at the numbers, and you're thinking he'd have been gone 2 years in, not 6, 7.
Oh yeah,
6-6, 6-6, 7-5.
Yeah, and
just
I
nuts.
tell you, yeah, and I think Brent Venables, and even though he made the playoff, I mean, in a program like Oklahoma,
it's wild how they're putting up with him.
I'm really surprised. They must like the guy a lot. The fans must genuinely like him, and his defense was really good. And he's one of those guys that gets excited on the sidelines, and he looks intense. He looks the way a coach is supposed to look in the eyes of many fans, and he keeps getting these chances. But Brent Venables, to me, at Oklahoma, is one of these coaches that wins just enough to keep going. And at some point, you're going to have to say, remember Paul Pasqualoni at Syracuse?
Sure. Oh, yeah.
And he was like he'd go into a season, this guy's on the hot seat. He'd come through and he'd win 8 or 9 games. He'd get Donovan McNabb.
You know, the hot seat guys, though, they never get off the hot seat. They just avoid the inevitable for a while.
But don't you think of Venables? I still think of Venables as being on the hot seat.
No question.
In a program like Oklahoma?
No question. Oklahoma aspires to make the final, not to make a playoff.
No, and think how long it's been since Oklahoma, when Josh Heupel was the quarterback, that won a national title. I thought Sam is exactly right about Heupel. The Vanderbilt game was a wake-up call, and it's, okay, I got to do something different. He fires his defense coordinator.
Yes.
Okay, but he shouldn't have stopped there. He was very fortunate. I don't think this was planned. He got the defensive coordinator from Penn State. Mm-hmm. I don't think when he made that decision, a very acclaimed defensive coordinator in Jim Knowles, I don't think he believed that, oh, and I'll get a bunch of Penn State defensive players. I don't think he thought that was a given. But it worked out that he did. What if he hadn't? Tennessee's portal shortcomings would loom even larger. But the fact, again, to me, he had to get a quarterback. He had to.
Sam, what do you say to that? Because you're anti the quarterback thing. You think they did the right thing?
Well, I don't know if it's the right thing or wrong thing, but I look at the quarterbacks that have been, like Sam Levitt, for instance. I mean, the year they went to the playoffs, they were largely carried by Cam Scatterbo in the running game. And the guy's injured, too. I don't actually believe they really went after him by the money they offered him. And because they knew, I believe they probably knew they'd have to offer $7 million, $8 million in a total compensation to actually land him. And they offered him, what, 4 or 5? I mean, if I go down to the car dealership and offer him $50,000 for a $70,000 truck, they're just going to laugh at me. I think they always wanted to go with GMAC. It's just my opinion on it, but
Sam, why do you think that?
The optics are so, I don't know. You can take it a lot of different ways. I don't think you really just don't. This portal area is so weird, you know. Because LSU this year got a ton of transfers, a lot of good players, right? They did that last year too, and they went 7-5. So you just don't know who you're getting and who you're putting together. It's maddening as fans because we want to know what we have. And in previous eras, you kind of knew that when you could build through high school recruiting, but we just don't know what we have, and that's the maddening part.
Here's the thing, though, when you look at particularly quarterback, you got to have a really good quarterback. You got to have one. And if you look at the way this is going, it's the transfer quarterbacks that are getting it done. And experience really matters at this. You just don't know. I mean, George McIntyre might be very talented. Faison Brandon might be very talented. And you might bring them in, and maybe they'll do really well. And maybe you don't even keep them, though, because then you're going to have to pay them more than ever. I just think you're always going to have to pay a lot for a proven quarterback. I would put that into my budget. But I just think when you look at how these playoff teams fared, go through the playoffs, they're all playing with transfer quarterbacks pretty much. There's a reason that's happening. And to me, you've got to identify right now, if I'm Tennessee, I'm looking at, let's just say hypothetically, okay, Tennessee believes McIntyre is the guy. Or it believes that Faison Brandon's the guy. Can't keep both of them, but it knows going into next season, going into the 27th season, it feels great about his quarterback. Faison Brandon's going to be star. Think about Michigan this year. It's got a quarterback. It goes ahead and plays a true freshman. Does okay, but now it feels like it's in pretty good shape for the future. But you don't have depth there. You don't have any depth when you do it that way. I just think if you go in and you bring in a proven quarterback, let's take none of the guys want Bo Prabula, okay? Understand that.
He's terrible.
He's not terrible. I'd
rather have air. I'd rather put air out there.
I'd rather have Bo Prabula.
Snap the ball to air.
I mean, the guy's a runner.
Brutal. Awful player.
Completed like 67% of his passes.
Awful.
He would do well in this system. To me, it was a big miss.
Hard pass.
It was a big miss.
Tell me he's got a nice personality. He can't play.
Bo Prabula threw 9 interceptions and 11 touchdowns.
Thank you. He can't play.
And averaged 7 yards a pass.
I know, but that was with Missouri, a team with lacking at receiver last year.
He can't play.
He would do well enough in Heupel's system. I would rather take my chances with him than put George McIntyre out there, and that's who they're going to start. Is George McIntyre.
he's proven to me that he's well. And then same with Austin Simmons, 4 touchdowns, 5 interceptions in 2 games.
I know, but that's a limited body of work. And look at Joey Aguilar's stats. He threw 14 interceptions in the Sun Belt. So you say, oh, my God. Well, he ends up ranking 12th nationally in total passing yards per game. If you can get that from a quarterback, if Joey Aguilar, I would welcome Joey Aguilar returning. If he miraculously prevailed in court and he comes back and he's your quarterback, I would much rather have him than George McIntyre.
But I want to see somebody different.
What?
I just want to see somebody different.
I would like to see Joey Aguilar with a good defense behind him.
Well, Tony,
I think he could.
see something
I think
different.
he could touch.
Yeah.
Okay. What if different is worse?
I'm just saying.
Joey Aguilar's not getting enough credit for what he did.
Joey's got a ceiling. Sammy knows it. Sam will tell you. Right, Sam?
He's got a ceiling, but I mean, I think his floor for this season would be pretty high, especially with the amount of production returning on offense. Return.
Hey, Matt, you know it, don't you?
But he's better than what you have right now.
Matt, you know
we
that,
don't know
right?
what we have.
Matt, you know that about Joey, right? You realize see something different?
I don't know if he can elevate a team to being like a team that wins playoff games. I'm not sure he's that, but I think I kind of lean Sam's. I mean, you led the SEC in scoring this year in league games. I mean, it's not like the guy wasn't any good. He had some horrendous, turnovers that kind of cost you really any chance of winning some games. But I mean, you would think he would take another step. I'd definitely take him back. Absolutely.
Yeah, I truly think a lot of Aguilar's bad decisions and Josh Heupel's play calling came because they just knew they were going to get torched on defense. They knew it. Once the Georgia game occurred, they knew they weren't stopping anyone. And so you have to call games differently. Versus 2024, he knew he had a good defense. He didn't put Nico in the position to make a lot of mistakes.
It wasn't like Oklahoma was shredding us. I don't know, man. I think you guys are playing with history here.
I think
he was awful in that game.
I say this about George McIntyre because
awful. No offense.
When I look at George McIntyre,
does that to a lot of quarterbacks. Tone, that's not.
Yeah, that's not
take.
surprising.
Well, I think the defense will definitely be better, and I'm not ruling out that George McIntyre could be a really good quarterback.
I agree with that.
I mean, that's a possibility.
Sure
Certainly,
could.
maybe
Brandon could end up transferring at the end of the year if it works out, right? I mean, that could happen.
There you go.
Yeah.
Or it could go the other way. Faison Brandon could come in here and he's
be a revelation,
and he wins the job as a true freshman.
Yep.
I just don't. And the other thing about McIntyre, when you look at him, you just think he's too thin. He's not sturdy enough to go through an SEC season.
Looks like me.
Okay. But you're not tall. But we don't know that he can't do that. I mean, Peyton Manning was pretty skinny, and he never got hurt. Seriously.
Our first Peyton Manning comparison of the show comes.
Well, I'm just Peyton Manning. If you look at him as a true freshman, he wasn't.
Come on, Sam. Even Sammy's not even going to go
Manning,
there.
Baby.
George Manning.
Make me a George Manning jersey.
Let's go, man.
And so,
G-Man.
But no, I'm speaking strictly to his durability. Sometimes really thin guys, they still don't get hurt.
Hey, Sam, you're the man. Hey, be safe, man.
See ya.
Great talking to you. Yeah, look, no matter who you throw out there, you're going to throw out somebody inexperienced this year. We know that because a guy from Colorado has thrown like 9 passes in his career. And the reason Matt hesitated about the Joey deal is that really I'm just kind of keeping it real. And that's okay. I'm allowed to keep it real. John Adams is here. He's presented by Jennifer Morris, Next Move, SmokyMountains.com. She of Keller Williams, I love her. Don't you dare buy, sell, or trade a home without calling her. Several folks have in the audience. I thank you for the support. Any of our sponsors, I thank you for the support. We love you. We appreciate you so much. You have no idea. And my friends over at VIP Play, you make your first $20 bet, you get $100 in bonus bets instantly. We've reached the finals at the Australian Open, which has been just a great tournament. The Olympics are right around the corner.
Excuse me?
Uh-huh.
How much of the Australian Open have you watched?
A ton.
Matt,
Sabalenka in the middle of the night.
Okay. How much
has
have
swept
you watched?
away to the finals.
How much have you watched, Matt?
I've not watched one serve.
How about Brian? How much have you watched the Australian Open, Brian?
Tennis is not on my radar now. It will be more in the summertime when they play Wimbledon and the U.S. Open.
So how much have you watched of it?
I haven't watched any of it.
Our Lady Vols are in action tonight with Mississippi State and Knoxville.
Mississippi State's not very good.
They're on a heater. We've got a deal in the SEC where about 5 teams are trying and putting money in the sport, and the rest of them look like Georgia's team last night. I mean, I'm sorry.
Know what's funny about you saying that, Tone?
Yeah.
When I was watching the Kentucky Vandy game the other night, Jimmy Dykes, and I love the guy, Mr. SEC. He was talking about how there's like 10 SEC teams on the women's side that have Sweet 16 potential. Like I'm not kidding. He said there were 10 teams on the women's side.
He coached women's basketball.
Yeah, he ought to know what good teams look like because they beat his ass night in and night out.
But he's the women's. It's really strong. So for you to say
we have before.
Just 5 teams, you don't really know what you're talking about.
Oh, really?
No.
It's unwatchable.
Well, I'm not talking about that.
There's a top tier in the league that's spending. Tennessee's one of them. And everybody else is just kind of have a runaround car. That's what we're doing. Come on, John. You know better than that.
Tennessee, LSU, South Carolina.
Uh-huh. And Texas.
Uh-huh.
And who's the last spender? Or somebody else got
Oklahoma has a really good team.
Yeah, they got a good team. Kentucky, Brian.
Kentucky's got a pretty good team.
You call that pretty good? What we saw from them the other night?
What about Vanderbilt?
They're all right.
No.
Then the rest of them are what?
I know, but I'm just
this Mississippi State team that's assembled all these wins. You just said it yourself, and they got a nice record. It looks like they look good on paper. Auburn, they look good on because they're beating these other teams.
No, they played horrible schedules. Okay. No, but his point is they're going to be a lot of SEC teams, women's teams in the NCAA tournament.
Jimmy Dykes is a shill, and I won't shill for that. Now, ladies and gentlemen, my friends at VIP Play, you bet $20. Hey, Brian, what's the line tonight in that game? Do we have a line in the Lady Vol game?
I haven't seen it, but I can imagine it's at least it's got to be double figures.
Over at VIP Play, get some skin in the game, have some fun. Or bet against my Flyers tomorrow night when they take the ice. They're terrible. You got a full slate in the NBA, full slate in the NHL. Always something going on. 200 leagues, live always. Numerous bet types, props, options. I saw a goalie in the 98th minute, a goalkeeper, Bry, score on a header yesterday over in Europe. I don't know if you saw that, but that was pretty cool. They served it off a corner kick. They pulled,
I did see it. He came all the way up and got it.
Yeah, that was so next level. You don't see that every day. Imagine if you had action on that. That'd be called a bad beat.
Yeah.
But you want to be in the game. To get a good play or a bad beat, you got to be in the game. If you have a bet in mind, my friends at VIP Play will create it for you if it's a compliant bet. Event type in the state of Tennessee. VIP Play where everybody gets treated like a VIP. Gambling problem, 800-889-9789, 21 and over. Located in our state of Tennessee to place a bet. Hey, John, Tennessee's talking about adding another sport when they go to this 105 schedule thing. Because they're spending way too much money on their rowing program already. You guys have any ideas on? They're talking about adding a bowling team. That's the that's what's percolate. Well, just
Well, yeah, follow Vanderbilt's lead. That's always a good idea in athletics.
Yeah, they're going to get a bowling team that, like Neil, assigned with evening the score with Vanderbilt.
Why don't they have
gymnastics?
They do gymnastics. You took the words out of my mouth.
It's very popular in the SEC. I don't watch it, but it's popular.
Well, I mean, think about this, okay? Gymnastics would be so much fun. Dr. Z, DDS, 9 women's teams ranked in the top 25, 4 in the top 6. Yeah, that's the point, Dr. Z. The 4 in the top 6 are the ones trying and playing, and then the rest of them are filling out the dance card.
But
you're making my
top
point.
25.
Oh, come on. You know what they're doing on these.
Tony's takes on the SEC women's hoops and Joey Aguilar are essentially national title or bust.
Well, no
in between.
No. My takes are that in the NIL era, there's about 5 teams that are trying to win a national championship in the league, and the rest of them are fielding runaround cards because that's exactly what's going on in the Big Ten. It's exactly what's going on in the Big 12. This era has led back to about 7 or 8, 9, 10 teams having a chance to win a national championship. It opened up there for a while. The women's basketball was open there for a while, but now in the NIL era, that stuff's over. Look at Geno Adams.
Well, Tony, there are more teams in the SEC now in women's basketball that have a chance to win a national championship than there ever have been.
Back to our phones we go. 865-200-5402. Hello and welcome in. You're on the air.
Geno Adams.
Go! Hello and welcome in. You're on the air. Hi.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, go right ahead.
Yeah. Y'all were talking about Joey and our quarterback situation. And, I know we went after some top guys there, some top flight QBs. I just felt like if we were kind of going after the really top guys that, Josh thought that would be better than GMAC, but since we kind of struck out, seems like he just wanted to go with who he thought was better than everybody else. What do you guys think about that? You think that's a good possibility?
Well, he may have thought about that. He may have thought that way, but my point is it's proved time and time again against the kind of schedule Tennessee's playing, you need an experienced quarterback. And so if I'm doing it, I've got a list.
GMAC or Pabula, right, is what you're saying. John, you take Pabula.
Oh, without hesitation.
I wouldn't. I'd rather have air.
Well, okay. Well,
snap the ball to air.
Okay. Well, you get on the hot seat.
Take my chances with the ball rolling around.
Okay, you
back
go
there.
directly to the hot seat, Tony. Okay? Your job's on the line now. Maybe next year you'll take a Bo Pabula.
Interesting.
Well, Alabama went with Ty Simpson, who hadn't played, and got him to the playoffs, and obviously a guy that wasn't a transfer quarterback.
It's a great example.
But he'd been there 3 years.
Oh.
He had. You're definitely right on that. However, I know you guys talk to people over there around the program. If you listen to people over there, they would tell you that GMAC was as good, if not better, than Joey all spring. It all had to come down to his weight and his ability to make it through the year.
That's the issue.
And we did just spend $1 million plus on a strength and conditioning coach for a reason, I would assume.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Yes. And we got a new eating coach. We got a gal that's a new eating coach, too. So we have a new nutritionist who we refer to as an eating coach, plus this strength and conditioning guy that added 20 pounds of great weight. And if he has a second, when I get into my Jim Knowles Philadelphia Charm Offensive here in a few weeks, once we let the dust settle, because Jim Knowles will be under my wing before this thing's over. When I start talking Philly to him, Frankfurt Avenue, and when we start breaking it down scientifically. Are you excited about that, John? Or no?
I think you very much overrate your reach.
Huh? When I talk about Market Street with him and break it down scientifically,
I don't care what you talk about. I think he's going to.
The mounted police in Philly, tell some 70s stories with him.
I see a blank expression on his face.
No, I think he's also an intelligent man and a conversationalist. I think he'd enjoy my company.
Blank look.
So, but your point is well taken. That gives me hope. This strength and conditioning coach and what he did with Mendoza gives me a lot of hope, man. You're right on the money, buddy.
Yeah, I just think we've all the last 2 off seasons we've kind of questioned whether we had the right secondary the previous off season and this past off season, whether we had the right receivers or enough receivers, and it seems to have turned out pretty good in both scenarios. Now, obviously, we had a terrible defense this past year, and it looks like we've done some things to shore that up. But I just feel like if Josh thinks that G-Mac's the guy, Stan's the guys he struck out on, which were Ty Simpson and the Arizona State quarterback, and maybe even thought about the Cincinnati guy, I'm not sure. But if those were the 3 he thought were better than G-Mac and we didn't get them, then he's ready to ride with G-Mac. I just feel like I'm ready to back his decision on it, since he's been pretty good on the last couple that I kind of question myself.
Well, let's look at how he has judged quarterbacks here. First year, he looked at what he had in the spring. Hendon Hooker, I don't think so. I better go get the guy that lost the starting job at Michigan, and Joe
Boy,
Milton.
I hope that
because
changes.
Hooker can't play.
No, that's a weird thing. That better change. He better be right. This guy better be right, and Heupel
then
better
they
be
paid
right.
Nico $2 million or whatever and thought he was
Poor
the
Nico.
superstar.
Poor Nico.
That didn't work out.
Hey, guys, I'll give you all a hot take. Nico's going to have a real good year at UCLA under that coach from James Madison. He's going to be a perfect fit for that guy's system. Matt, you buying, selling, or trading that? And then I'll ask my fellow on the phone that. I really believe Nico has a good year this year at UCLA.
I think he'll be pretty solid.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a really good coach that they hired.
Really good hire.
I don't know anything about the personnel around him, but if they got an offensive line that can be almost serviceable in the Big Ten, then he'll have a pretty good year.
They don't have any NIL money.
He'll be fun. Yeah, but the guy in Indiana did it without any NIL money in that first year. Brought all those James Madison players with him. This guy's brought a bunch of guys out. This guy knows what he's doing now. To our friend on the phones, what about what John says about quarterback evals? Is that a worry of yours as you think about your point?
I think it could be, but Lane Kiffin, and we've talked about it. I've heard you talk about it too, Tony. Lane Kiffin went with Simmons
That's right.
over Chambliss. I mean,
exactly
this is
right.
not just a one head coach type deal. Like oftentimes, and I remember when Josh Dobbs was here, it was the same deal. Like they kept picking somebody over Dobbs.
Boy, that was a mistake.
That was crazy.
It was every single year, but it just seemed like whatever it was when the lights were on, Dobbs was at his best, and I think maybe you could say the same for Hooker. I'm not sure, but you certainly have to have a little bit of worry there, but I'm not super concerned about it just from the standpoint that he seems to get a quarterback to be at their best when they play for him. And I think the same would have happened for Nico. I really do. I think it would have slowed down for Nico, and he would have been a better player if he stayed in the system, and he just didn't.
Thank you, my man. Great talking to you. Hey, Matt, you were wanting to add there. Go ahead, buddy.
I lost my train of thought in what he was.
Damn it! I hate when that happens.
We
were talking about Nico. We were talking about this year. We were talking about the quarterbacks. We were talking about Heupel.
It was just even great quarterback coaches and offensive minds mess up the quarterback stuff. I mean, Sarkisian's not been great with Ewers and Manning. Had some struggles early this year.
It is interesting.
I mean, you just see it all the time. It's one of the strangest things how even the best coaches can get it wrong at their specialty.
Watson Brown told me yesterday, which is because I asked him, why do so many of these five-star guys bust through your eyes? And he said, listen, he said, this is the reason I'm going to getting a guy out of the transfer portal. This was him now. I can't evaluate you when you're throwing footballs around in your shorts in the spring, and that's what we watch now. He said, and really, I can't evaluate you on a high school field because I can't evaluate the guys that are playing defense against you. He said, but the thing we can always evaluate is your arm strength and your size. He said, but the real truth about that quarterback deal is that you can only have a couple of them on your roster. He said, if wide receiver, I can go get 5 of them, play the best 2. He said, but what's tricky about a quarterback, and I've really thought about this, is he said there's so many more intangible things that go into that deal. And I was thinking about Nico when he said this. Do you lift up the people around you? How are you going to be when the game's on the line? What kind of decisions are you going to make when the game's on the line, when it starts going faster for you? When your protection breaks down, can you make a play? He said those are the guys that separate themselves from the others. And he was talking about the kid at Indiana last year, and he said, if you want a perfect example of a guy that's just perfect, and that guy was like a 1-star player out of high school, this kid that Indiana has. I mean, it's crazy. It's those 5-star quarterbacks, John, the bust rate on those guys, because our fans are upset because Shannon Terry's organization downgraded Brandon from a 5-star to a 4-star. And I was kidding yesterday about it. I'm not so sure that isn't a good thing when you look at the record of 5-star quarterbacks, because it's not very good.
But see, this is why, I concur with Watson. This is why you get transfer quarterbacks, because you don't know how well a quarterback that's never done it, how well he will do things like process information, see the field, keep his eyes down, focus downfield when he's scrambling. How will he respond to pressure? You just don't know. You can't. These 7-on-7 can't. The elite quarterbacks camps. You can't tell that. I just think, why bother? My gosh,
Matt, there's a chat breaking out on the over on YouTube right now, which is an argument that Vol fans have with each other for some reason, and I don't understand it. But it goes a little something like this. Have the Vols been successful under Josh Heupel because of him or in spite of him? And there's a segment of our fan base that really believes that it's all NIL driven. That's why this guy's won. And it is what it is. And our rich people want to win, so they're spending a lot of money on their roster. And the schedule's been easy. And I just don't know how you can look at it and not give them credit. Now, do they do things that are maddening? Sure. Do all these teams do things that are maddening? Yes. Are there game management issues? Yes. Are there too many penalties at times? Yes. But he's been a very good head coach here. Very good.
Well,
but that's an argument we're having. People in our fan base argue about this, John. You get those emails. I get emails from people. They act like this guy's Butch Jones or something. I mean, what are we doing?
The email I get.
Yeah.
And this is somewhat valid. You give Josh Heupel credit for what he's done, because there was a 13-year stretch of Tennessee football that wasn't very good. And he's been above that. He's averaged 9 wins a season for 5 years. So he's definitely an upgrade. But they look at him and they give him that and they say, but he's not an elite coach. And they point out they don't feel like he can take you to the national championship. They don't look at Josh Heupel and see a Kurt Cignetti or Frank Cignetti.
Matt, and yesterday you rubbed off on Cinco, because about 9 times yesterday he referred to Greg Sankey as, what do you call him, Brian?
Pete Sankey or something.
No, it wasn't Pete Sankey.
Mike Sankey.
Mike Sankey. Hey, I should mention, we are now under a winter storm warning. Heavy snow expected. Accumulations between 2 and 5 inches possible from 1 p.m. tomorrow to 1 a.m. Sunday.
Shit.
Travel could be very difficult.
Here?
So be careful. Yes, for here.
Are you kidding me?
I got
a portion of East Tennessee.
I thought Brian was breaking in. I thought it was going to happen right now. I thought he meant it was getting ready to happen in the next 30 minutes, and I couldn't drive
1
home.
p.m. tomorrow.
Okay.
So about 24 hours, John.
Yeah, I know about that.
Really?
Yes.
I didn't know about it.
Yes.
I'm not even watching the weather. It's so depressing.
Build you a snowman.
Here's the thing. Is Heupel one of? How many of those guys exist? How many guys are currently coaching who have won national championships? I mean, how many of those guys exist anymore? I don't know.
Like 2 of them.
I don't know. Hey, Matt, is Heupel a guy that can win a national championship? My answer would be I don't know. Is the guy at Florida one? I don't know. Kirby Smart can. Help me out
you
here.
Could argue,
Lane
could argue
Kiffin.
Dabo Swinney's not anymore.
Yeah, Dabo Swinney's not one of
He's
them.
got 2 of them.
Lane Kiffin's not one of them. Is he? I mean, he hasn't done it yet.
Until they do it, nobody is.
I don't get. I get that his teams don't do the little things, and it is maddening. It's kind of like watching our basketball team play. We'll go back to this. Last night, we were on here kind of bitching and moaning about just how uninstinctive our team is at times, and they really are. We were like laughing at it. We just didn't celebrate the win enough. And with Heupel, let's just tie it all in a bow. I think we need to learn to celebrate the win a little more. To the haters, to the Heupel haters, the HH Club. You know, there used to be another HH Club around here. But I'm not going to bring you under wing on that. R.I.P. Doug Anderson.
Tony, so many fans.
Yeah.
They look at Tennessee at its tradition. They look at it and realize it has enough money. It has the facilities. And they see other teams winning national championships.
Yep.
And these fans say, why can't we win one? Why can't we get close to one?
Yes.
And it's very frustrating because this is a unbelievably passionate fan base.
Yes.
Tennessee has one of the truly great fan bases in college
in
football.
all sports. Yes.
And I think it's really hard on them to sit there and watch on TV is Indiana seemingly, it's almost like Indiana didn't even have a football program, flipped a switch and said, okay, we're going to play the sport now.
Yep.
And then we're in the playoffs our first year, and then we're playing for a national championship. I get this from my wife all the time. She's going, why can't we do that? Why can't we hire a Kirk Signetti?
Well, I mean, look, here's the deal.
I wish they grew on trees.
Real Mr. Tubbs said
that'd be one way.
Len said Lane is a tier 1 coach. Is Hype in tier 1? What makes Lane a tier 1 coach, man? What? Lane started with the Raiders and sucked. The only thing memorable about his tenure there was when Al Davis had his flow chart, one of the great press conferences of all time. He came here and was an immature clown. Nick Saban got so sick of him, he threw him off his campus in the middle of a playoff. True or false, John?
Yeah, and Lane is nutty, volatile, unpredictable.
Yeah.
However, one way to evaluate coaches is to look at a program's history before and after them.
Yeah.
And compare it to what it was when they were doing the job.
Yes.
And Lane Kiffin improved Ole Miss drastically.
And Josh Heupel has really improved Tennessee. When he got here, we were a laughing stock in the country.
No doubt about it.
He gets no credit from that for most
of
our fans.
He should get credit for that.
He gets zero credit for that.
Ole Miss had done less than Tennessee had for a longer period of time.
Matt, why do so many rank and file of our fans and people we talk to, friends of you that you encounter in life, just everyday living, why are they so hesitant to give this guy credit, Matt? It's weird.
I don't know, and I don't interact with those fans anywhere close to as much as you do, because there's a huge gap between not giving the guy any credit versus thinking he's not going to win a national championship as a coach here. There's a huge gap in between there where the truth lies. But he's done a very good job, a much better job than I ever thought he would do here. And he kind of showed in 24 that he can be a defensive first head coach and win. I thought that showed a ton of growth for him.
Yes.
And you see some of these moves you're making, you're getting serious with Jim Knowles.
That strength coach is total gangster.
Yeah,
that's
coach,
exactly what
there's
Kiffin
a
is.
ton of things that you got to clean up and get better at, but that goes for every program.
That's what Kiffin does, John.
But I just think you've got a really good base to build around with him, and it's just crazy to not give the guy credit for being a really solid head coach.
It's like Alan Ward said, everybody expects to win a national championship every year. Listen. I don't know over the next 10 years if we play in a national championship game. If you ask me that. I don't know that we do. That's a very hard thing to do. Now you're in a playoff system, which means you can't just load up your roster, win your games, and then go appear in the championship game. It's a playoff sport now. I don't know how realistic that. Some people don't want to hear that. I'm sorry. I didn't do it. I didn't make this thing a multiple-tiered playoff. It's hard, John, now to win a national championship. The very, very, very best program now is going to hold the banner. Miami got there because their quarterback quit turning the ball over and played within himself, and their line play at the end of the year was NFL level on both lines, as close to it as you'll see on the collegiate level. They were 30-year good on both lines. They were unbelievable at the end of the year.
When you watch championship teams, and I think that's what fans compare Tennessee to now, is not what the football was before Josh Heupel arrived. They compare it. They look ahead. They look forward. They look at it and say, how do they compare? How would they have stacked up against Miami or Indiana in that national championship game? How would they have performed against Oregon or some of these teams? And they come away thinking, why are those teams so much better than we are? And they go back to getting blown out in the second half in their own stadium against Vanderbilt. That's the kind of optics that don't go away.
Yeah, but that's cherry picking. I mean, look,
that's what fans do.
But that led to some great changes. That we might look back on that 5 years from now and say, you know what? That's when that guy dropped his you-know-whats.
I know.
When that happened and he was forced to make changes and forced to not be comfortable. And
I know, but what the fan thinks is, why did it take that? Why could you already see what the shortcomings were?
But that's not who he is. That's fair.
Well, then that...
I mean, Cignetti is unbelievable. I mean, that's the new thing, Matt, right? Cignetti's going to get a lot of people fired. That's what he's going to do. And he's going to make a lot of guys that have no business getting these head coaching jobs rich.
Well, he may never do what he just did.
Oh, I know.
Again.
Just the fact that you could see it done, though, puts pressure on everybody. The guy at NC State, he's done. This guy over here, he's done. This guy,
my gosh, to go 16-0.
Yep.
That team was a team for the ages. We might go 10 years and not see a team like that.
No, that was one of the great stories.
A team that loses one fumble.
Hey, John, the people that look at them and say, can they do it?
First game of the season.
Yeah.
People that look at them, Matt, and say, can they do it again next year, totally miss the boat on what Indiana just did. Who the hell cares? I don't care if they win 2 games next year.
You know what?
That's nothing to do with anything.
Typical.
That's nothing to do with anything.
Because you got to prove that you can sustain it.
He got lucky.
They just did one of the greatest things in the history of college football.
Yes.
And you want to say, well, okay, prove you can do it again.
Yeah.
Nobody's doing it again.
It's like a schoolyard fight, right? When a kid doesn't want to fight, he crosses the line. He walk over that line. The kid walks over the line. He goes, all right, now walk over this line.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, what are we doing?
I saw
over your line.
I had this TV on ESPN. Yeah. I wasn't listening to the sound, but on the crawl on the screen it said, "Has Sam Darnold proved his critics wrong?" Sam Darnold, playing with an injury, had this incredible game. And he's going to the Super Bowl, and it's still like, well, we don't know about Sam Darnold. I mean, what do you have to do? It's like quarterbacks. He's had 2 really good seasons back to back, but it's just the constant thought that he's not Tom Brady.
Bar moving.
He's not Joe Montana.
Now, is Heupel the most what's the term here? Proactive guy in the world? No, not really. Does he get comfortable? Sure. Does he have his buddies on his offensive coaching staff? Probably. Do they play a really clean brand of football? He never has. Can they change some of that? Can they alter some of that? Sure they can. Can he get better in those areas? Sure. Will their team be stronger and more equipped this year to play an SEC schedule? Sure. I think they can do that. Will they be better on defense? Sure. Problem is you're going to play. That's why it's going to be an interesting offseason. You're both going to play a schedule that you're going to take some lumps, but there's also some opportunities in there. Because the bottom of John's, back to our conversation from last hour, correct me if I'm wrong, guys, Mississippi State on our schedule this year?
No.
All right. Is Arkansas on our schedule this year?
Yes.
Is Vanderbilt?
Yes.
South Carolina?
Yes.
Is Kentucky?
Yes.
Is Auburn?
Yes.
5 of the bottom 6 teams, according to John, and I think he's right, are on our schedule. That's a potential to get 5 SEC wins right there. 5 and 4. That's you go 5 and 4 and you beat Georgia Tech. You've had a hell of a season here. You throw up an 8 and 4. Well, 9 SEC games, right?
Yeah, you win 5 SEC games,
right? And you beat Georgia Tech.
Yeah, and you
win 8
games.
4. 8 and 4.
That's not a great season.
That's pretty good though. That's all right.
That's not what fans want. Are you kidding? Please.
I didn't say it's.
You're entering November still in the playoff discussion.
Thank you, Matt.
So.
Well, I mean, but at the end of the year, 8
John,
and 4.
I understand, but at the end of the year, when you have 2 inexperienced quarterbacks, it's kind of like this year. If you didn't get totally blowed out by Vanderbilt, and Joey Aguilar's wheels didn't come off, and the offense's wheels didn't come off at the end of the year, and now we know what Aguilar was dealing with. I still don't know what the offensive line was dealing with, and I still don't know why they haven't added interior offensive linemen, because that was a hard watch. But anyway, that's them being them, not them being me. But
Tony,
fun conversation.
Fans are not going to look at an 8 and 4 season and say, "Boy, we really overachieved there." Man,
I got a real sales job.
That was a good season.
I have a real sales job to do between now and the summer.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
There's a difference in going 8 and 4 with a Bo Perbulek quarterback versus going 8 and 4 and you Faison Brandon, kind of
smart point
elevates there the last month of the year. Like there's a big difference in that, and that's why the win-loss record, can never be definitive on what expectations and successes on that.
Smart point.
And that was like in the 24th season when Florida came on strong at the end and had DJ Lagway at quarterback, and you thought, boy, this is going to work out after all.
Well, I mean, John, what conclusion are you supposed to? What conclusion are you supposed to? Oh well. All right. Well, that was fun today.
Yeah, and I'm glad Brian gave us this weather update for tomorrow.
What is it again, Brian? Because I need to get outside today, don't I?
It's a winter storm warning for our area, 2 to 5 inches from 1 p.m. tomorrow to 1 a.m. Sunday morning.
All right, let me ask you guys something. From 1 p.m. tomorrow through Sunday, so it's just going to keep snowing. Okay, whatever, just snow. Does Danny White open Thompson Bowling Arena to the locals down there so we can get some people in on Saturday night if this storm hits? John, do they announce we want the ticket buyers to stay off the road, or do the people brave the elements and get in that stadium Saturday night?
Well, the game will probably get postponed.
Oh, praise God. Could that happen?
They've been doing that.
Yeah.
Several games have been moved around.
Yeah.
Root for snow. Is that
I mean, the Lady Vols had a game that I don't know if it's going to get made up.
Yeah, the Ole Miss game, right?
I don't know when they're going to.
They haven't played in a week, so that was supposed to be Sunday.
How do they make them up?
Well, I mean, it's not really that hard. You just pick a date and say you got to play 3 games this week instead of 2.
Have we done that before in the league?
Well, I know Georgia played 2 games in the same day to win an SEC championship one year. I mean, I don't think it's an incredible hardship to play 3 games in a week.
Kiffin's Wrecked Lexus says Danny's going to come up with a charge for people that track snow inside.
if he has to have crews there cleaning up the mess. Danny kind of, what's the term? I don't want to say deserves the fun we have with him on here, but he kind of deserves it. So, hey, love y'all. It was fun. John, any final thought? Hey, that was your column is very thought provoking this week on the finishes, and we think you did a pretty good job with it.
Well, that's high praise from you guys. Way you ripped the basketball team after a road win.
Matt,
you're a national championship winning rider, John.
Matt, we really kind of sucked ass last night, didn't we? That was not good of us.
I actually thought personally, we had a very entertaining and fun show, and we had like 15 minutes, watch along there to get oiled up and kind of get in the groove. I thought we had a lot of fun, but yeah, it was a little overly negative, but
yeah, it was overly.
So how did this watch along thing go?
So we're all here gathered to watch, and Alex Myers is here, and Bry and Matt.
You're all here in your studio.
We're all like gathered. They're on the app, and we're
watching the game,
right? And
but you're not on air.
Well, the end of the game happened. We gathered with like 3 minutes to play in the game, like we always do, and we're kind of comparing notes. Say, what do you want to tell you? What blah 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 blah. And then, Negadave's already on hold, and a couple other people, but Negadave, because at one point I reached down and punched the phone. And I go, Negadave, what do you think? I knew it was him, because Negadave, he's on hold 5 minutes into the second half. So I said, guys, why don't we just do a watch along? So if you go back on YouTube last night and watch the first 6 or 7 minutes, that's us basically responding to what we see, and we're just like, this guy's a clown. What in the world is that? What is this? I mean, it's just the most negative thing in the world. But there were a couple pops from us. When Nate and Men hit that 3-ball in the corner, I mean, what a great take that was from him. I don't know. This team's going to be wrench. This team's going to be. I'm with Matt. This team's going to roll out there against one of these hoopties and get beat, and we're going to go, what in the world are they doing? They're just, I don't know. They're not the soundest bunch in the world. Let's put it that way. John, thank you. Bry, thank you. Matt, thank you. To the living listener, thank you. Those that spread the word about the show, thank you. To the great callers today, thank you. To our wonderful sponsors and partners who allow us to do what we do every day, thank you. To our T-Club members, thank you. To the weatherman, no thank you. And please stop, okay? I'm going to hold Todd Howe personally responsible if this doesn't abate soon. But, John, thanks, man.
Thank you.
And Jennifer Morris, Next Move, SmokyMountains.com, thank you. And, Matt, let's talk later tonight. Love you. Peace. G to the B to the O. And tomorrow, listen anyway, but I'll be live with Bino.